Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We are now another day closer to the start of the NBA season. We are finishing up the WNBA season. We are in round two. 2 games yesterday, no games today or tomorrow, 2 games on Wednesday. And I tell you what, if you do need a basketball fix, yesterday was fantastic. Also, we have Eurobasket going on. And if you missed the showdown between Jokic and Giannis, don't worry, you're not alone. You should go back and check out that game. Went into overtime. Giannis dropping 40. Jokic, though, bringing Serbia to a victory. Shout out to everybody down below. If you are here, then we are grateful because you are taking part of your day and your time to be here with us. And thank you. That's what's up. There is a tweet about to be put up in the Jumbotron. We just simply ask that you like and retweet so we can show the people who run analytics at Twitter that, we're here. But they do know that we're in the back end of the off season, which is slow. All right. Let's see. Had a 3-day weekend. I got so pumped for the Artemis 1 launch. I was talking to my son about it this morning. And then, of course, the very first thing I find out after dropping him off at school is that indeed we will not have a launch because of engine flow and a crack on a flange or a possible crack on a flange in the liquid hydrogen tank. So that was a bummer. That was a real bummer. We'll get into that. Good morning, everybody. I'll be back in 10. All right. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Monday. Mondays were made for greatness. So you should probably go be great. And you can start your day off being great by not eating pancakes. They are nothing but food for people who settle in life. We'll get to that in a bit. Shout out to those down below who are content creators. These are some people that you might want to go ahead and follow because they do a great job providing you with entertainment to consume. Rico Suave is in the building, one of the hosts of 77 Spaces. He's been watching his man Luca ball out over in Euro basket. We've got the Daniel Artest podcast, also head of the WBB Phenomenal Podcast 9450. And if you don't know what WBB stands for, I actually kind of feel sorry for you. You should know that by now. It's a little bit of a disjointed show this morning. We've only got 2 games to talk about. The news and notes aren't really in depth because there isn't a lot to talk about. There are 2 legal things that we'll get into sometime in the second hour. But we lead off with the second round of the WNBA playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to lie. I thought the Aces were going to stomp out the Storm in the opening game, and I was wrong. 76-73, the Storm pull out the victory, ladies and gentlemen, behind heady play from Breanna Stewart, Sue Bird. And I tell you what, I don't think even the Aces saw what was coming. That 26-15 first quarter was something serious. The Sun, the Connecticut Sun, the much maligned and talked about Connecticut Sun, the team whom everybody calls the Utah Jazz of the WNBA, beat the defending champs, Chicago Sky, 68-63. But really, we want to give Candace Parker her praise. 19 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. A phenomenal game. And in fact, there was a tweet. I'm going to try to find it again. She is the only WNBA player in history to have 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 assists in the WNBA playoffs. And I think there's even one more stat. And she's the only one who has 1,000 in all of them, right? There's other people who have 1,001. And I think there's one person who has 1,000 in 2 categories. She's the only one who has 1,000 in every category. That was a phenomenal game too, and you saw Chicago trying to come back in the fourth quarter, but they just couldn't. They really couldn't muster any defense. They were basically going basket for basket, and unfortunately for Chicago, If they don't right this ship, I think it's going to be a quick out. The Aces and the Storm, however, I think will be a longer discussion. Up on stage already, we have the wonderful, wonderful Bill Carroll. If you don't know who he is, he's the director of HBCU Scouting. He also does some work on the MDS Draft Central and Nuts and Bolts Sports. What's up, Bill? How you doing? Uh-oh. Definitely not the way we want to start out. All right. Quick.
Sorry about that. I took a phone call right as you were
Oh,
going.
it's all good.
Um, but yes, I did see the first result that you mentioned coming. I thought that Stewie and the legend of Stu Bird would come up. What I didn't see was the second result coming. I thought that Candace Parker and the rest of the Sky would just frankly be bigger and stronger on the boards and would allow second chance points and would put them ahead. And they did do well on the boards, but not quite well enough. So I was the reverse of you. I saw the first, but not the second.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one. I saw the second. I have called the Connecticut Sun as well a couple of times the Utah Jazz of the WNBA because of their play style. But what I did
Right.
in their first round matchup was probably the most consistent team. They might not have the highest ceiling, but I think they have the highest floor, if you understand what I'm saying. And there is somebody who put out there. His name's Sean Rochester. Shout out to Five Reasons Sports. He called the Connecticut Sun to win the championship. So shout out to that. The question,
Impressive.
yeah, I was shocked. Question to you, Bill. What did you see within this first game between Seattle and Las Vegas? Right? Did Seattle just match up super well because they did this with like 2 points from Sue Bird? They did this
Right.
with ineffectual shooting. They did this with
Right.
bad defense in the second
Yep.
half, and yet they still
Yep.
held off on the victory. Are the Aces in trouble?
They're in a little bit of trouble because Sue Bird's not going to put up 2 points probably ever again in her career in a playoff game. So, that's something you can count on. But she's also at the phase in her career where she can. I mean, we talk about people like what Chris Paul can do, what people can do where they don't necessarily have to score to control the game. And that's where she is at this point in her career. I mean, she is the most polished, refined, I mean, pick a term, player of her type in the history of the WNBA. I mean, I don't think anybody would even dispute that at this point. Of the type of player she is, she's as good at that as anyone has ever been.
Yeah.
Ball movement or lack thereof, right? I think was what a lot of this game was about. And you hear people yell about it. I mean, since we were, I don't know, 9 years old, whatever age it was, where you first started trying to play actual organized ball and had someone scream at you, stop dribbling, right? Right? I don't know how old you were the first time someone screamed that at you and move the ball, move the ball. It sounds simple, but it really is at the heart, I think, of half of the games that are won and lost. Which team does a better job getting the ball into the most advantageous part of the court? As simple as it sounds, how many games are about that? I'd say more than half. I think that's what a lot of it was. And yeah, I mean, did they get fortunate or unfortunate at times? I would say yes. That's where I see it.
All right. I also found it funny, and they are mirrored in ineffective shooting. And this has been something consistent with Seattle throughout the year. I was talking with Seattle, the Storm lead. He writes and covers the Seattle Storm, and he's like, I fear the biggest thing is that they will yo-yo in consistency. We have up on stage 808s and snack breaks, and if you've been following him on Twitter, you now know to call him Mr. Snacks. That's right. They come up to him in person and hit him up with an 808s. That ain't it no more. The man is getting the big time in the W. Shout out to my man, Mr. Snacks. What's up, Christian? How you doing?
Oh, not the government. That's wild. I ain't heard that in a minute. No, man. Apparently, Christian's not gonna catch on enough. So it's I guess with the name it is. But yeah, man, it was some great basketball last night. Even though this guy didn't win, it was still a great game.
Yeah, so this one I kind of saw, right, and the sun outlast the sky. My biggest question to you: does this show a weakness? If the sun can continue to harass Quigley and make her ineffective, you lose some of the spacing. What do you see Chicago being able to do to kind of get her going, or to get a better bench unit, because that is really what sank them. They had zero production from the bench.
Yeah, like there's a couple things that happened last night that Connecticut hasn't done forever against Chicago, and that's outscore them in the paint. They had a 10 plus paint advantage, and also the bench. Like their bench was going crazy. I don't think that'll happen again. Neither does Azure. When I asked her last night, the fact that all this is going on and how would they stop it from happening again. And to be honest with you, this is the best game Connecticut's played against Chicago since last year's semifinals. Like they had that crazy run, and then they lost. And then they got swept in the regular season. And that one game that they should have won, that Corey Ventus, who didn't play, they went into overtime, and like that, they lost that game. So that's been on their minds for the longest, in my opinion, and that's why they had to come out and get this game, get the first W. Like, there's a lot of overreaction. Like, this guy didn't lose the first game to Liberty after a 13-0 lead in the last, 30 minutes of the game. They came back and had the largest playoff margin of victory, and then they eventually closed the series. And I think that was game 3. I can't remember. But, yeah, I don't know. It was a good game, but Connecticut needed that W more than Chicago did, to be honest with you. And as far as the defense, I mean, it was there. Like, if you look at the numbers, the only good player that had for the Sun that had a good ratio was John Quill. I think she was 5 for 8, something like that. But DeWanna Bonner, 4 for 16. Alyssa Thomas, 6 for 16. Courtney Williams, 3 for 12. Like, in my opinion, Chicago did their job. It was just the guard play that really sunk them because they just couldn't get to the paint. Um, Connecticut did a good job of sealing everything, and they were hedging a lot. They didn't expect that, at least. And as far as the physicality, like as already said, she didn't think that they were expecting that. Coach thought it was a little bit different. But usually when that happens, it's just a different perspective, and that's what I thought really happened there. But as far as the bigs, Chicago doesn't have the size to bang with them, and that's where she was right. They had to play their game, which is more backdoor cuts, a little bit more of finesse. But after game 1, I mean, this is kind of the same exact loss against the Liberty. So I got to relax, man. There's a lot of overreaction on the app last night, and like people are forgetting the Aces lost too. Like, not the only top seed that lost last night.
Brianna Jones for Connecticut, I think, was the real winner last night, right? And shout out to Terps, U of M. Go ahead. Brianna Jones came out. She was 6 for 8 off the bench, and she basically outplayed what would be her direct counterpart, Azure Stevens, in terms of production. Question: the defense was there, the guard play isn't there. Is this something that is player dependent, or did Connecticut actually scheme a better defense than we're giving them credit for?
I was just a little bit of both. Like I said, this game has been on circle on their calendar since they knew they were going to play Chicago, and they needed this game to come out. I mean, it's no secret. Even though the game was messy, it was messy on both sides. And that really comes from Brianna Jones just grabbing every offensive rebound. And a couple of those offensive rebounds, they got in the same sets, the same possession. So it's like you can't allow it to happen in the late in the game. And that's really what happened and took them out of it. But yeah, like the physicality, you got to match it somehow. And I mean, they sweat them in the regular season for a reason. But then again, I said that Connecticut was going to win this game. They needed to, and that's what they did. But like DeWanna said in the post game, like, yeah, we're happy that we won finally against this team, but to us it's really 0-0 because you got win more. So it's just one game, and there's more games to come.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. The W players, they actually they answer media questions way better than NBA players. Like they give you an answer you can actually think about too.
Yeah, like that was probably one of the dopest parts of that. Like I felt like she was actually walking me through the play, and like I've never really experienced that like from a player perspective like that, like in person. So I really felt like I was like playing defense against her, but of course, if it wasn't, I mean, that would be pretty bad. I mean, I would get embarrassed. But yeah, it was really dope. It was a great experience. But yeah, I don't think that um, I don't think that this is necessarily Chicago's L per se. I think that Connecticut still played a great game. They played their game, and that's why they won.
All right. Up on stage also, we have Malika Walker, host of The Rewind. Danny D has joined us, as has Edwin Garcia. Bill Carr is up here. All 5 people here worthy of your follow. So if you want a more W on your timeline, these are some of the people that you definitely want to hook up with. Shout out down below. Also, we've got our man Mark is in the building. And if you don't know Mark Schindler,
The
you don't.
hardest working man in the W, man. Let me tell you. If you
Yeah,
know Tom Joyner, you know what I'm talking about.
top joiner. Did you just say top? I mean, I give you a point. You on fire.
Come on, man. That was a go-to morning radio drive to school, man.
You are on fire, man. The Tom Joyner Morning Show. Shout out to my DMV peeps. That's where he came out of. I remember listening to the Tom Joyner Morning Show. I remember when they said it was going off air, man. I shed a single tear.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, in my entire life, Tom Joyner's been on the radio at 5 a.m. till 9. And now it's just Steve Harvey. I mean, no offense to Steve Harvey, but he's not Tom Joyner.
Yeah, you get Steve Harvey in the morning, and then you get DL Hewley in the afternoon. And I feel as though they kind of hit this same space that ESPN is currently in. And you don't need to worry about that by shooting Mark Schindler a follow because he doesn't do that. He's a writer for the W, for Dime, and for Basketball News. So you don't have to worry about stale content because like he's not stale. Malika, you can hop in here. We're glad.
His food takes are he doesn't like Italian food.
Well, you know what? Tony's not in here, so I don't feel, anxious about this. Italian food is kind of overrated.
Yo, are you serious? Oh my! Why am I surprised? I'm not
Right?
surprised.
Like,
Actually.
so like the Italian food I like, they don't even make here.
Malika,
right?
save him. Please save him. Come on, hop in, sister.
Like,
Hop in.
we get here and people want to act like frozen lasagna and frozen cheese bread with garlic is Italian food. It isn't. Like, stop.
I don't know why I thought that you would back me up there. I don't know why I thought you would.
Hi, everyone. I just
Hey,
want to
Malika.
say I love watching both games yesterday, Chris. That yeah, we're gonna end this now. Even though you'll bring it up during the show, throughout the show in your way, because that's a criticism.
I didn't
But-
bring anything up. 808s brought it up. Mr. Snacks brought it up.
See how you're trying. See, look, can we? You have your way, and just like you just did. But we're gonna move forward. I enjoyed this weekend's games. I was really looking forward to the Storm versus the Aces. I just wanted to see that matchup in the playoffs. Like there's been so much talk about the MVP, how these two will match up. Both teams were missing like a key piece. You had Gabby Williams, their defensive stopper, off the floor, and then you had De'Arica Hamby also off the floor. And they do have some players that were playing not exactly 100%, but I felt like Stewie's. I felt like Stewie and Jewel Lloyd. I felt like Stewie and Jewel Lloyd and the Storm. One thing about the Storm, I think they're playing well at the right time. And one of the things I've been talking about is don't sleep on the Storm. Like, don't just automatically assume the Storm, the Storm won't make it to the finals. They have Stewie, who, I do think she is, in my opinion. And I'm sorry. I am not one of those people that scream Stewie all over the place. I do think Stewie is the best player in the game. And some players, you have Candace Parker, who's one of the greatest all time. I'm not discounting anyone's greatness. I'm an Asia fan. I believe Asia should win the MVP this season. Just because you're the best player in the game doesn't mean you win MVP each season. Because if that was the case, then Michael Jordan will have 13 MVPs, and LeBron will have 19 MVPs. So, or 12, or how many years you thought he was the greatest player. That's all I'm saying. I think that's, when you have Stewie and Jewel Lloyd is clicking at the right time. Like, she did have an up and down season, but Jewel Lloyd has been consistent, in these playoffs so far. Like, I feel like she's showed up and she was there. So don't sleep on the Storm, but I do think Vegas is going to bring it next game. And I do think that Becky Hammond, I don't know, like, I know that last play, the screen, like that's, like Kelsey's partially to blame because she could have been a little bit more patient with the screen. But I don't know. I felt like that ball could have went to Chelsea. This wasn't exactly Asia's game, but that last play, like, how much is Becky Hammond's play calling to blame for this loss? Um, for this game, I think that stuff will improve. And then with Connecticut and the Sky, I swear I just took. I mean, just Connecticut. I mean, Nikias had a tweet yesterday. Connecticut's son is the best team I have no faith in, something like that. And I couldn't agree with him more. So when I was the game was on, but it was like, okay, this guy is gonna, it'll be close, and then this guy will eke it out at the end. That's honestly what I thought. Um, but the Connecticut, outlasted this guy. Is like the Connecticut has the talent. They got Jonquel Jones. They got some hitters over there, but it's just something about that team. But I was reminded it's a contract year for them. If for a few players in that team, it is contract year. They're going into unrestricted free agency, and that gives them even more reason to ball out in this playoffs. So watching that series is definitely going to be interesting. But Chicago, I mean, game two. I mean, as a Liberty fan, I understand the game two focus of the Sky, and so we will see. We will see the Sky wrath, but blessed to Candace Parker, 19 points, 18 rebounds. I mean, she brought it, and we do know that Sue had 12 rebounds 12 assists with no turnovers at 41. Not discounting that, but blessings to Candace Parker. Candace Parker supremacy forever.
All right. What's your favorite Italian dish?
Chris.
Don't do it, sis. It's a setup. Stir the
All
pot.
I asked was what your favorite Italian dish is, and I'm getting accosted by Danny D, ladies and gentlemen, already this fast in the morning. I can't believe it.
It's something I can have for quite some time, and that is lasagna. Is my favorite Italian dish. Thank you.
I'll point to Malika for lasagna being her favorite. Danny D, Aces fan who was miserable because her Aces lost to the Seattle Storm, to a woman who's 41 who had so many. I think she just got another one. What are you feeling this morning, Danny?
I feel great. I feel good, Chris. I feel wonderful. I don't. Why would I feel sad about my Aces losing yesterday? Help me understand that.
Oh, I didn't think you that. I more like despondent, concerned, anxious that you
not concerned or anxious. What I saw was one team came ready to play after a week off because they both had a week off, and one team you could tell their rhythm was off because there was a lot of shots that were good shots that they missed in the first 5 minutes of that first quarter.
That was a hard first 5 minutes.
That was a hard first 5 minutes. I was like, damn, they're missing shots, and they were out of rhythm. They allowed the Storm to kind of dictate their pace a little bit. Too much one-on-one, not moving the ball, and again, moving the ball is key because it shifts your defense and it leads you to the best shot. They could have won that game. But it was some mental errors at the end, some weird turnovers, some non-foul calls on Asia that the refs always seem to miss on her. But a lot of it was Seattle came there and they did what they were supposed to do. They won one game on that floor, and that's what they were supposed to do at the end of the day. I'm not even worried. We're going to see a totally different Aces team Wednesday. I'm going to see a more focused, well-flowing offense. Jewel Lloyd is going to do what she's going to do. If she can stay consistent, we're going to watch that. Stewie is Stewie. I mean, they play great defense. Kia still did the best she could with her. And she made her alter her shot, and she still made those shots. I mean, it is what it is. Super has some assists, but a lot of that was, it is what it is. Some defensive schemes didn't work out for the Aces. They got 2 days to look at this. Now they're in rhythm. Now, instead of having a week off, they only have 2 days off, and they're at home, and they can sit there and say, okay, this is what we can do. Let's win game 2, and let's try to win both games in Seattle and end this in 4. So that's the way I see it. And I watched the second game. Now, when 8 o'clock hit, I had to switch to that House of the Dragon. and I had to put the game on the computer because I wasn't missing that. I was surprised how well the Sky played. Not the Sky played. The Sun. The S's are getting me today. How well the Sun played and how composed they held because I thought the Sky were going to pull it out. I really did. Brianna Jones is a problem down there in the paint. That's a solid rock, and you can run into it all you want, and she's going to bump you right on off. These are it's a wonderful first two games. I really enjoyed this semifinals. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. It's going to be I love the women, how they're playing out there, the heart, the smarts, everything is going. All I will say about the Aces game, the last part, is that if Kia would have held on to that screen a little bit longer, that would have gave Kelsey time to relax and hit that three. She shot it just a little bit too much over it hit the back rim of the basket, and that's why it didn't go in. But like I said, they know where they messed up at. It's stuff that they can tweak here and there, and I believe we're gonna win. I know we're gonna win.
You hear this 808 over here say once in the league.
Go ahead, 808.
Actually, I'm kind of feeling what Danny's saying. People are overreacting to both of these games, and they were tight pretty much the entire way. Except the first quarter that Vegas had really put them out of the game at first. They went 2 for 10 in the first quarter from three, and then they actually only took 2 more attempts in the second quarter. And after that point, it was a single. I think it was a 9-point deficit. After it was 10 plus 13, 14 in the first. So they know what they need to do. Stop taking so many threes and get back to what actually works. Seattle is a great team. Don't get me wrong, but I mean they don't have the firepower that Vegas has. I feel like this is the same game just like Chicago had. Seattle needed this game to get one. Connecticut needed to get one, and they got them. But I don't see either team winning anymore. If you want me to keep a buck with you.
Now, what they need to do is keep Tina Charles off the basket.
Man, that's three people at once. Go ahead, Danny replied, and we got Edwin Garcia getting up here. I want to also give some shout outs down below. More people have popped in. K.Loop, you might want to shoot him a follow if you want more women's basketball coverage as well. Part of the 9450 Women's Basketball Podcast with 808s and DA. Justin Padden, JP the Franchise, is a YouTube creator. Get his reaction videos, especially about the Celtics when the season starts. Unhyped Athletics is in the building. If you are a supporter of women's sports, not just basketball, you definitely want to hook up with Unhyped Athletics. See what he's doing over on Instagram, where he does a lot of his work putting the spotlight on young women who are trying to get to where they're going, essentially trying to get that paper. Pretty Cam's in the building. Shout out to her. Shout out to Marquise Francis from Yahoo in the building, and Chris Williamson. We got a star-studded audience, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead, Danny replied. Then we got Edwin Garcia. We got Jay the Wakandan Malika and Bill Carr of Nuts and Bolts Sports. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Answer Edwin's question. Is the best out of 5. So 2 at Vegas, 2 at Seattle, and then the last one comes back to Vegas if they go to 5. No, but I was just going to say, touching what 808 was saying, or Christian, whatever you want to call him today, Snacks,
Come on.
Why are you trying to make him sound like a pop singer from the 90s?
He could be, with the beard and everything, anyway. But what I was going to say was, leave my friend alone. What I was going to say was, everybody's overreacting. If you would have looked at that game yesterday, you would have thought the Aces were down by 15, but they really weren't. And Seattle did what they had to do. But like I said on Twitter yesterday, if I'm Seattle, I'm looking like, dang, we still could have almost lost that game because they took the lead from them. And you would think they were in control, but they took the lead from them. They made a bonehead mistake, and that's what caused them to lose that game. But at the end of the day, I was like, I felt good about it. It is what it is. Like all them people that panicked when my Golden State Warriors lost to Boston in that first game. Yeah, I'm like, okay, Aaron. I wasn't panicking. So hey, Sky fans. Don't panic. It's just one game. I wouldn't be surprised if they sweep the rest of these games, both teams. And that's just me. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised, but I still think it's going 5. I
Stirring
still
the
Right.
think
pot, as you'd say, you're not stirring the pot. That's
Everybody
hilarious.
everybody needs to stop what they're doing and write this down. You need to go buy a lotto ticket today. Cause like 808s and Danny agreeing on like multiple things at the same time on the same day is pretty damn rare.
it is. I'm gonna play it today too. I'm gonna play it today. But no, but anyway, it is what it is. I mean, we're in a good space. We're not playing against each other. Now we both make it to the finals. This whole conversation is not gonna be nice between us. But it is what it is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There you go.
Oh my.
Listen, we all good until y'all get De'Arthur Hamby back. After that, you are definitely I don't know you no more.
No, I'm good. I don't look if Hamby comes back, great. If she don't, I like my Kia Stokes starting. I'm good with that.
Listen, I'm sorry, you're not winning a championship without De'Arthur Hamby. I'm sorry.
I think we can, but it is
Holy.
it's big to be seen. Hey, as long as Candace old legs can take y'all,
Hey,
as
yo,
as, as long
relax.
as long as Vandersloot, you better hope Vandersloot and Quigley don't have an argument before they come to the game. It must be a lot living with somebody and playing with them. Ooh, that's a strong marriage. Anyway.
Listen, they both had pretty bad games today, so they know what's good. But if Can and Reba are free, like I like to hear what they got to say about last night's games.
Yeah, I'd love for them to come on up. And while we wait, we'll go to Edwin Garcia, and I've got a question for Edward. Edward, did you know that spaghetti and meatballs is actually not
Oh my
Italian?
god!
Can you repeat the question?
Did you know that spaghetti and meatballs are actually not Italian?
What's next? You're gonna tell me Panda Express isn't Chinese food, Chris? Because I'm not ready for that.
Chris is going to weave in Italian food all morning, like I said he was going to do in his way. My question, real
Yeah,
quick.
Chris is a professional gaslighter, so you got to understand. He knows how to do this. It's not his first
Damn,
rodeo.
Yeah, he
professional
knows.
gaslighter is crazy.
He
Wow.
knows what to do. Can I ask a quick question, though? Back to the game, real quick. I'm curious. I mean, the last play call. I mean, should the ball have been in Chelsea's hands? Wasn't she shooting? Wasn't she, hotter with shooting the ball than Kelsey was? Am I missing something?
I mean, they were both hot at the end, in my opinion. They were both hitting it because they were both the leading scorers. Because Asia only had 8 points and 15 or 12 rebounds, something like that, 14 rebounds, something like that. So the two hot shooters were actually Chelsea and oh Lord, I was messing up the name. Chelsea and Kelsey.
Yeah,
So
Chelsea Gray. Yeah, I just feel,
yeah,
Chelsea. I don't know. Like that last play could have, went a bunch of ways, but
but they were
yeah,
going
I felt
after
Chelsea did it.
Chelsea. They
Yeah.
were going after Chelsea. But if Kia would have held that pick a little bit longer, that would have caused Sue not. She would have held it just a little bit, just maybe a few seconds longer. That would, I think, Kelsey would not have rushed that 3 because it
To,
was on point to go in. That was just my
to,
opinion.
to be fair to Vegas though, and Becky and the coaching, like whatever was drawn up, like Chelsea Gray has been playing out of her mind over the last month and change or whatever. So you really got to go with the hot hand. And at that point of the game, I mean, Kelsey was like 8 for 19 or something like that. So I mean, it looks good, but a lot of those misses were just bad. And Chelsea had the hot hand, so you go with who got you there. Like Vicky Johnson said.
We got Edwin, we got Jay, Bill. If you want to hop up in here, you can. We also have Pretty Cam up on stage to talk about yesterday's game. And if you're down below and you want to talk about it, raise your hand. We still have space. And if you can't, if you look at the bottom right, there's a chat box. If you hop in there, you can be part of the conversation that's going on. And Jackie is throwing out just gems today. So shout out to Jackie. Edwin, you're up. You already had your question. Spaghetti and meatballs, not Italian. Go ahead.
It's just so funny being in here when obviously I guess the Seattle and Connecticut fans are not available. But it's just funny hearing just like concession Monday. Like, it's not a big deal to drop your home game and get, beat by the Utah Jazz with the WNBA. No, not a big deal, to get manhandled on the boards and have your, 3-point shooter go 0 for 5, in a home opener again. Like, all right, I guess game 1 of the semifinals is not important at home as well. So I
Sparks
find that
fan.
interesting. I find that I've watched plenty of Sky, and including yesterday. I'm really curious to rewatch the game again. because I actually don't know what to make of it, because I feel like we all, myself included, throw the analysis away when it comes to the Sun. It's like, yeah, they're the Sun. They're going to choke it up like they do every year. It doesn't matter. And then yesterday was the first day where I was like, oh, maybe that lack of analysis is kind of biting me here, because I was surprised to see them win. I did not think they were going to win that game pretty much until around the fourth, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to walk away from this one. So I found that surprising, and I think I tweeted out this morning that everyone should be watching the WNBA semifinals, simply for the fact that for me personally, as basketball rises to higher stakes, I learn more about the game, and I always kind of take something away every finals, every championship. And one thing I was reminded that I already knew was that it comes down to guard play. Even in the league like the WNBA, where it's a bunch of bigs, they start to cancel each other out, and who has the ball is the guards, right? That's why there's more Kobe game winners than Shaq game winners. It's just the ball ends up in the guard's hands. That's who makes the decisions. That's who decides what to do. And when it's back and forth and close, that's what's going to decide. That's why I think the Sky won the championship last year. It wasn't Candace Parker. It was Kahleah Copper giving a Finals MVP performance. It was quickly hitting back-to-back threes in the fourth quarter. And then Dolson hitting a couple of threes as a stretch five. That's why they won the championship. And if they win it this year, they're going to need Kahleah to be her absolute best. They're going to need Vandersloot to play better. They're going to need Quickly to hit those threes, because you saw that you got an incredible Parker performance. And did it matter? No. You still got killed on the boards. You still got beat at home because your guards didn't show up. If your guards are not that good and they don't play at an elite level, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter who's the big out there, because they have equally as many bigs, especially when you look at the Sun, look at the Aces, Storm a little bit too. Those guards are going to be the X factor. If they're hot, if they're shooting well, if they're defending well, that's the team that's going to win, the one with the better guards performing at their highest level. So obviously we all know the Sky are incredible. They won the championship. They're one of the top seeds. I wouldn't be surprised they win the series. It's still a long way to go, but it's a wake-up call to those guards. You got to play, because look what you got from Parker, and it still wasn't enough at home.
All right.
If I can respond to that real quick.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I agree. People are saying that people are saying that the Sky wasted Candace Parker's game. I don't really see it that way. I just think anytime you make history, especially in this league, it's not a waste. So I feel like that vernacular is a little dated and tired in my opinion. But as far as like the loss itself, there's some truth to there. Candace had 18 rebounds. No one else on the team had more than 4. That physicality has to be matched. I'm not saying if they don't, the series is over or anything of that nature, but Connecticut has the talent and the size to make it hard, and that's what Brianna Jones is really doing the entire night. So reasons why, she's one of the leading candidates for 6th Player of the Year, and all the other stuff's been going on with Connecticut. Like, she's one of the main reasons why, the mainstays for them this season. As far as the guard play, I don't really think it's that big of an issue, at least now, because for the simple fact that the Sky have had Connecticut's number every time they played this season. Stemming back to last year in the semifinals. There's no way that Azurá Stevens is going to go 1 for 7 again and only play like a handful of minutes. There's no way in the world that Sloot is going to have the game that she had, and which was pretty bad in my opinion. I think she had 5 points, 2 for 8. I think only took like 2-3 shots in the fourth overall. That's not going to happen again. The fact that Chicago only scored 26 points in the paint, that's one of their, if not the lowest amount they've had this year, when they average over 42. Half of their offense comes from inside the 3-point line. That's not going to happen again. So, I mean, I get where it's coming from, but I just feel like this team is owed some grace, especially after the last series. I know it's the Liberty, but keep in mind, Liberty won 8 of their last 10 regular season games in order to make the playoffs. I feel like that's still being sneezed over. Like, that Liberty team had the talent, and they won that first game decisively. So, I mean, I think Chicago deserves some grace here.
Quick question before I get to Jay the Wakandan. Why is Dana Evans not getting any run? Like, she can't get 5 to 10 minutes here like she did in the regular season?
So, I've heard a couple of reasons why. Shout out to James Kay and Chris Pennant. They are the co-host of the Skyhook Pod. The other day they were talking about Dana and why she hasn't really got enough minutes. And they say in defense. I don't really see it just the defense part. I think that coach has his favorites. Every coach does, and Julie Alderman has been that favorite. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but when you have a team that has defensive sets like Connecticut does, that can punish weak guards that don't really look at the rim, like Coach said that himself. That's what happened. Tisha Heidemann, everybody that Odyssey Sims came in, was playing some good defense. That's just that team. That's how they play. They're gritty and they win games that way. Keep it a buck. Everyone has jokes about Connecticut, but they've been pretty consistent, more than not they have this season. So I just feel like this L is people making it more about Chicago than the fact that Connecticut actually went into Chicago's house and took a game from them. Like, it was a close game until like the last 30 seconds. It was like a 3-point game. Like, did y'all watch the game? It wasn't a blowout, and neither was the Aces game. Like, y'all really gotta relax. No one in here per se, but the timeline was just nasty last night. Just very slanderous. I didn't like it at all.
Oh, look, I had a Twitter vacation over the weekend. Best thing I've done in months. Literally the best thing. I did. I felt so good yesterday, right? Like, I picked up the phone after the Storm game. I looked at it for 10 seconds, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to come back tomorrow. Jay the Wakandan, that we got.
Best thing for us also. No crazy food takes.
Okay, see, again, people, I'm not bringing up food. I was just trying to get to Jay and Bill so we can get Pretty Can. And
to be fair, I did bring up Italian food first. There was no mention of food before I got up here.
Fettuccine Alfredo, also not Italian. Jay the Wakandan, also not Italian, we think. Jay, good morning. How you doing?
Buongiorno. No, what's happening? I am loving the WNBA talk. I had some family stuff pop up. Nothing big, just, family pop up out of town. We're Southern. We go out to eat. It just is what it is. So I didn't get a chance to watch the game. So I appreciate the recap and the analysis. My question is, if guard play is that important, should Candace Parker assume more of a guard role for the Sky? And my second thing is, Chris, I made eggplant parmesan kind of, sort of, the first time, but I didn't have any red sauce, so I made a white sauce from scratch, and I used smoked Gouda instead of mozzarella because it was on short notice.
Who do we have to blame for all of this Italian talk?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That is, Jay, I know what you're saying and doing,
but... You can't give him that. You can't give Chris stuff like this.
Melanzane alla Promaggio. That's the base of eggplant parmesan that you're trying to make, but you didn't have the red sauce. And by the way, if you're using Gouda and melting and making a white sauce, that's also not Italian. You just had roasted eggplant with sauce.
This guy, I tell you, I really
got you. So I got you. So what kind of cheese do I need to get? I know I need to get Parmesan.
You know what? Let me send you 3 cheeses in the DM.
Bet.
All right. Bill, hop in. Bill, hop in here, and then we're going to go to Pretty Can. We're going to give Pretty Can all the time she wants, so we can talk.
Vegetarian lasagna, but I don't know if it's a safe space to disclose that. So the two things, and someone just mentioned Candace Parker.
You're kind of breaking up.
Oh. Can you hear me better now?
Yep.
Somebody mentioned guard play and should Candace Parker, try to Luka it up out there. I mean, there's spots where that makes sense, but Candace Parker should mostly go out there and be Candace Parker. And you just saw what that looks like when she's Candace Parker. That's pretty good. The guards need to be guards. I think that's the real answer to that. And they're capable of playing better. I think they will play better. I think they really need to concentrate on somebody else helping around the boards. That, who wants to throw their body in there? That's, to me, the real issue. Someone just pointed out that she had, 70-something% of the team's rebounds. Like, that's not awesome. That's not what you want. So if they can get at least one other person, maybe 2, to really step up and throw it in the throw everybody's in there and start getting some more second chance. I mean, it's at this point that all the teams are reasonably evenly matched. Those couple of extra passes, those couple of extra offensive rebounds, those tend to be the difference. And of course, defensive stops. I mean, this isn't news. This is what comes down to every time you get to this point where the teams are evenly matched. So that's it for me.
All right. Appreciate it. Anybody want to hop in on that topic? Yeah.
I believe you recommended me an Italian restaurant when I was in Vegas. Is that correct? Am I recalling that correctly?
That is correct. I did. I gave you an Italian restaurant to go to in Las Vegas.
As far as the guard thing with Candace, I feel like Candace kind of been a big guard, hashtag big guard her entire life. Stemming back to Tennessee. Jesus Christ, I was going to say Connecticut. Let me go to sleep. I didn't really get my sleep last night, not gonna lie. But if you really look at the game, like Candace had, what was it? I think she had 5 assists. Emma Meesseman had 7. No one else on the team had more than 2. So the boards, you got to help Candace on the boards. I mean, I love Candace. She's 36. There's no way in the world she should be leading the team in rebounds every single night. Like, there's a reason why we brought in Emma Meesseman. There's a reason why Ruthie Hebert is on the bench. I mean, I don't know why she doesn't get enough tick, but hey, it is what it is. That's why you have Azrae Stevens coming in as, like Coach says, it's not really a sub, it's a super sub because she's a starter, and really, honestly, and she's gonna get her bag next season. I'm really happy for her. But other than that, like, they're doing their jobs. It was a tight game. Both games were pretty tight, but I just honestly deep down think that going into game 2, knowing how Becky is, knowing how Coach is, like, we're gonna see 2 completely different teams Wednesday.
All right. Thank you for those who are down below. Jackie is just, this is a point for Jackie, killing it this morning in the chat box. Up on stage, we've added a couple more people. We've got Q, and we've got the Blazer Bucks investor. We'll get to you in a moment. But up next, we're going to listen to Pretty Can. You got all the time in the world. It is yours. What did you see yesterday in both games? And if you guys are following along, I gave the 3 main hard cheeses that you should have in your refrigerator for Italian food. Pretty Can, floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Chicago game. So I'm not panicking about Connecticut because we lost by 5, and 4 of our 5 starters did not have a good game. And the super sub, I'm gonna include Azrae in there. She didn't really have an impactful game. She kind of rushed her shots. Sloot, I don't know what was going on with her. She was kind of complacent, and she looked like she was sleepwalking. Allie is. I don't look for Allie to shoot no more. I look for her to contribute any way she can, and she did a little bit on defense. It's just Connecticut. They overpowered us in defense, and we know they're gonna get rebounds. And like 808 said, we're gonna game 2. James Wade's gonna fix it and make sure we keep them off the boards because they ran that big 3 lineup, which I hate that Connecticut runs with Bree Jones, Jonquel Jones, and AT, and then they had DeWanna Bonner out there as a guard, and I think they had Odyssey out there. I hate that big lineup because I feel like it does not help Connecticut. They only have probably 1 or 2 shooters out there, and that's Jonquel if she goes out there to shoot the ball. And then you have DeWanna out there. Other than that, AT and Bree Jones is just to stand in the paint and just clog it up and then get rebounds. Chicago needs to take advantage of that and run. They need to get out. Everybody needs to go to the paint, rebound, and then run Connecticut big line off it. Like, they don't know how to run them. We didn't get a chance to run yesterday. That's all we needed was a run. We could have beat them. But like I said, I'm not panicking about Chicago and Connecticut. We can beat them. That was an easily winnable game for us. We just didn't have a good game. And I'm going to give Connecticut that one. But other than that, the next 3 are ours. So I'm not really worried about that game. And then the Aces versus Seattle game, I didn't get to see it until the end. But Kelsey Plum does entirely too much. I love her game, but she does entirely too much sometimes. And then at the end of the game, I feel like A'ja having 1 shot is unacceptable for an MVP candidate. Like, give her the ball. Let her have the option to shoot or do whatever. But, like, her having 1 shot, I don't like that at all. The offense has to run through her and Chelsea. The team is focused on being Kelsey Plum's team. And I don't like how that's going. But anyway, that's my take on it. Chicago in 4. That's what Aces, they can be in 5, I guess. And then we'll see them in the finals.
And then Chicago wins and how many in the finals?
Oh, we win it. I'm going to give us 5 because, the Aces is tough. But I'm going to give us 5. And Candace is going to walk out in the sunlight with her 3rd ring, and we're done. And that's the GOAT right there.
All right. There you go. Point to Pretty Can. Great break.
Oh, let me make another point. I'm sorry to say this. Yeah. I hate when Candace has vintage games. And I know that that's sad to say. That means she's doing entirely too much for the team, and I don't like that she has to do that. There's no way that she should have had 19 points, 18 rebounds, 6 blocks, 4 steals, and 5. Like, there's no way she should have had that last night. Kalia Copper is too good of a player. Courtney Sluter's too good of a player. Like, we need our team to step up and not have them make Candace that focal point. And in the second half, the fourth quarter, she did not sit down. She's 36 years old. No, that doesn't work for me. So, yeah, that was it. I'm done.
All right, no doubt. Question for you. Are you ready?
Yep,
Do
I'm sorry.
you know that Olive Garden was founded by General Mills in Orlando, Florida?
Is this really a question for me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, 808s opened the floodgates on the Italian food, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that Olive Garden was made by a cereal company, which is why I actually don't eat at Olive Garden.
Oh, yeah, I know it's not a real Italian restaurant. So, yeah.
Point to you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting some great breakdowns. If you're just joining us, we want to say welcome and thank you. You missed a fantastic first 50 minutes of the show. Seattle beat Las Vegas last night, or yesterday afternoon, 76-73. The Connecticut Sun beat the Chicago Sky last night, 68-63. We've got 808s and snack breaks. Please call them Mr. Snacks. We've got Bill Carr, Bill Carroll of Nuts and Bolts Sports, Malika Walker of The Rewind, Edwin Garcia of Too Many Places to Name. He's got a project coming out with the Pettiest Lakers fan. Make sure you tune into that if you are a Lakers fan. Pretty Can, Danny D. But up next, we're going to Q. What's up, Q? It's been a minute. Hope all is good, bro.
Yeah, real quick, Chris.
Man?
Hey, real quick, Q. Reba had her hand up a couple minutes ago. This Blazer Bucks.
No, Q can go. I'll wait.
I appreciate it. I want to talk about the Aces real quick because their play last night kind of disappointed me in a way. First things first, when you have an MVP candidate like A'ja Wilson, I think it needs to be more on the guards to kind of get her the ball and get her opportunities not only to score, but just so the offense could move, just because you can tell that Seattle made it a point to deny her and do everything they can to slow her down. And her only having 10 shot attempts or however many she had, and Kelsey Plum having 23 is kind of crazy to me. I feel like if that's your MVP, you kind of have to play through her more. And to me, that falls more on the guards because they have the ball in their hands most, and you actually have to get it down there to the center, especially if they're trying to deny. That's point one. And then point two, in the playoffs, wasted turnovers is a cancer. I mean, wasted possessions is a cancer to your team. And by wasted possessions, I mean like turnovers, of course, and just bad shots. Jackie Young specifically, she had a few shots that kind of feel like it kind of halted the momentum that they had. Kelsey Plum, she takes a lot of shots. I don't like to really fault her for that because, a lot of the time she's scoring most of those. But I think, next game, they should make it more of a point to look for A'ja Wilson and kind of like she shouldn't go like multiple possessions without even touching the ball. Even if she's not even scoring, I think she still needs to touch it before looking for anything else, especially if you're settling for long threes and things of that nature.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think she should get a minimum of 15 shots per game. I don't understand how they can't get her 15 shots per game. It doesn't. It boggles my mind.
And one more thing is, like, I felt like there were opportunities to get her the ball when she wasn't being double teamed. Like specific moments where like the guard has it at the top and they pull away from the double team and it's just dumb. Like, why not try to, get a quick, pick and roll or, slip in a dive or something. But I'm sure next game they'll probably do better at that.
Probably. They've got the coach of the year, Becky Hammon, and I think she's very good at making adjustments. Just like Italians are very good at making fun of us Americans because where they live and eat their food, because they are Italians, they don't have Kraft Italian dressing. They actually make fun of us about that, if you didn't know.
Hey, listen, before we get off the Vegas thing, like, I get that Becky Hammon won coach of the year, But if we really gonna be honest with ourselves, like, I mean, she in Vegas, so she might as well just be like the buddy that was coaching the Las Vegas Raiders last season, right? Like, she inherited a
Tanisha Wright,
championship winning team
Mark
and then went
that.
and won a Super Bowl the next season.
We're
Like,
not gonna do that. No, that's not fair. Because at the end
Not
of the
respect Tanisha
day,
Wright.
she may
Tanisha
have
Wright supremacy.
no. I don't believe in that. Tanisha Wright did good, but Becky got them girls to buy into her system. You could still be a new coach, and the team don't buy into your system. I didn't expect them to play this well this year. I thought we were going to be in the bottom half with a new system, new coach, new everything. But she got them to buy in and play. She deserved that coach of the year. Tanisha White had a great year with Atlanta, but Atlanta let New York beat them, and that's why they didn't get into the playoffs. So nah, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna have
Yo,
the Becky having
I,
slander.
you
We
know,
were doing good 808, but you had to go through the door to start the stuff with me. Okay, Christian. All right.
he's asking
How much?
he's asking a valid question
It's
though.
not a valid question. Okay.
It is.
He won. He won Executive of the Year. Rightfully, he should be happy with that. Move
Yeah.
on to the next subject. There we go.
We're going to move on to the the Blazer and Bucks investor. Complex chick is the handle with the X and a 0. Queen of Dirty Mackin. Appreciate you popping up here. What you got for us today?
I actually like that. I forgot I put that in my bio, but it's actually true. But anyway,
You know, we
I
could
want
actually have a whole conversation just on that if you want and don't want to talk basketball because now everybody's
to talk about it, but I want to talk about basketball. It is a basketball space, so I don't want to piss everybody off talking about my dirty Mackin and all that. But
the floor is yours. Got all the time you need.
I wanted to talk about Connecticut. Of course, I'm pretty much like one of 5 Connecticut fans on this app that actually like Connecticut. I don't think we're giving Letitia Heidemann enough credit on her defense. I've been shitting on her all year long about her defense, and she stepped up yesterday. And I think that threw the Vanderquigs off their game because every time they play us, Letitia Heidemann's barbecue chicken every single time. And also, she did a decent job when she was on Kalia. When you can make Pretty Can and another lady on this app, her name is Call of Duty, we were talking about what looks that Kurt was going to throw at Kalia. And I said it's not going to be a cakewalk simply because we are physical. DeWanna's long. Odyssey could, she could step with the best. She's right with you wherever you move. She is right with you. And what happened was we didn't expect Heidemann to actually do anything defensively. If she's not shooting threes, get her off the court because she's pretty much she's no use to us. And last night she stepped up and played defense. So I want to give her credit for that. And also the boards. Breezy, she did well. I'll give her that. But we had 4 players with at least 9 rebounds. We had DeWanna with 9. Courtney Williams had 9. John Quell had, I think, 10. And then AT had 10. AT was 3 assists from a double-double last night. And that's with her playing with everyone on the court. The second unit and the first, she played well with both units. So that usually doesn't happen either. So I'll give Chicago their credit because I thought we were going to get one game and I thought we were going to get it at home. We got the first one. They probably take the rest. I think we're going to get another one at home. I still believe that, but I give Chicago credit. They didn't play as well as they usually do. Their guards didn't show up. And like Pretty Can said, if you put Candace in the God mode, that's not a good sign because that means no one else is stepping up. So I'll give Chicago their credit with that. And I also want to talk about Courtney. She hasn't been playing well offensively for us for at least probably a month and a half, but I'm not liking. She gave us those 9 rebounds, but I'm not liking the production because we're going to need offense because Chicago's going to turn it up these next a few games, and we usually can hang with them. If Courtney's not going to help us offensively, I don't know how we're going to hang with them, especially if Jonquel gets into one of her moods.
That's actually a great point. Postseason wise, she's averaging basically half of what she averaged during the regular season. She fighting injury. If there's something there that we're not,
I think it's mental. She's probably not used to. She had those 2 years where she wasn't with us, and she was home around this time of the year, and she was playing with Atlanta. And when she was with Atlanta, Atlanta wasn't playing for anything. When she was there, they were playing for basically stats and let's just get the season over because we have to play 34 games or so. But she wasn't playing for anything, and now she's in the mode where she has to think. She's not the best player when she has to think. Her, Jewel Lloyd, you can throw Copper off her game if she has to think. If they can just ball, they're going to kick your ass. And last night, I think we made Kalia think a little bit. She couldn't get to the lane like she usually does because we were actually playing okay defense. When she has to think about where everyone is, should I make this pass? Should I cut? Should I do this? It kind of takes her out of the game. But if she locks in and just wants to take us one-on-one, she can get whatever she wants. But if she has to think about it, we have a chance. And that's all I'm asking for from Connecticut, because Chicago is they're really good. But if you watch all the games we played this season and yesterday, we're neck and neck with them, even though they're an amazing team. They're well organized. We aren't. They're like the yin and the yang. They play very pretty basketball. We play the ugliest basketball I've seen from a professional team. They crash the boards, we crash the boards. They get turnovers, we get turnovers. It's just ugly as hell from us. It doesn't look pretty. But when you match up the stats, we're like neck and neck. So, and it's been like that probably since the bubble season. It's been like that for a few years where we've been, pretty much mirror images of each other.
and then at that point,
Except championship.
I get point.
I mean, I'm just saying, y'all have made the last 5 semifinals. This is the second semifinals against Chicago. Like, I told y'all, Connecticut need to win this game, and they was going to win it. That's what happened.
Shout out to Jackie having to head out. Appreciate you stopping by. Go ahead, Dirty Mackin. I love that, by the way. The fact that I'm never ever gonna forget that. Like it'll be there for the rest of my life. You will always be Queen of Dirty Mackin, just to let you know. Mission accomplished.
Thank you.
We have Akil hopping up here. Did anybody want to bring in their thoughts on the Connecticut Sun? She made a lot of great points, and like I said earlier, I've called them the Utah Jazz of the WNBA because that they were basically consistent without being scary. But apparently,
and that goes for the coaching as well. Sloan's a good coach, but he never did anything either, and that's kind of how Kurt is right now. So we got to put pressure on Kurt too, because we've been here 4 straight years, and every year he made a decision that sent us home. So,
which Kurt are we talking about here? Which Kurt are we talking about here? Kurt the coach or Kurt the GM?
The coach. I love him as GM. Actually, I absolutely love him as GM. I want him to stay as GM even if we move on, because honestly, I don't think he can help another team win a championship. He hasn't won a championship at any level. Like, that's high school, that's college, that's here. He hasn't won a ring on any level. So I don't think his calling is GMing. He can draft he can get free agents. I'll give him that. But as far as coaching, I think his problem is he doesn't know how to handle talent. The way Jonquel carries herself, Connecticut, we're a boring team, but we got a lot of big personalities. We got a lot of competitors on our team. Like, no bullshit. We have some crazy ass people on our team when it comes to basketball. They're highly competitive, and they're going to speak their mind, except for Jonquel. They're going to speak their mind. So he probably is not good at handling that, because they probably could walk over, and that's why he misses Jasmine Thomas more than just being on the court. She can kind of keep everyone level. Everyone listens to her. Like, as you see, she's not even playing this year. And if you ask Nia Clouden, like, who got you through your rookie year, she's going to say Jasmine Thomas. He said it several times, and JT's not even playing. And when she's on the bench, she's coaching. Like, it's the reason why she's injured and she's not on the end of the bench where, you know, the end of rotation players are. She's dead in the middle because they want her to see what the guards are doing. And she was another coach on the floor for Kurt. And he lost that. And when he lost that, it kind of like,
he's already
threw a wrench in everything.
Would you say he's non-confrontational? Is that the issue?
I don't think that's the problem either, non-confrontational, because I think a lot of coaches are that way, but they can find a way to rein in their players. Like, you have to know the personalities of your players, and I think he knows them as basketball players, but I don't think he knows their mentality as people, their personalities. I don't think he's used to that.
She's
Because
the more
probably,
level-headed person out of them. Like, Jasmine Thomas is even keel.
yes,
Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are kind of like, their personalities are not wild, but they're very competitive, so they got a
they're
lot of fire.
yeah, and JJ, she's very competitive. I give her that, but she's not as confrontational. She's not going to tell you. She's just going to sulk. And you're going, what's wrong, JJ? What's wrong, JJ? You know, AT and DeWanna's going to be like, give me the fucking ball. Make some plays. JJ is going to do that.
We have a question from Emmy Jenkins. Is Kurt on the way out if they don't win a chip?
Yes, and I think he should be either way, honestly.
All right.
Hey, yo, Chris, for anybody that doesn't know Reba, like, she's been saying this the entire season, and it's literally been happening the entire season. Like, I don't know a more objective fan that, like, knows their, like, hoop history. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
Wait, so are you saying that Kurt gets canned both jobs or just one job?
I want him as GM. I don't want him as the coach anymore. I would love to have Pokey. I know, like, a lot of teams are going to go after her, and Seattle might just give her a hell of a raise to keep her.
Why are you trying to take our assistant coach from us, man?
No, because I think the best move Seattle made this offseason was Pokey. It was none of the players on the court. It was Pokey.
She's been fantastic this whole year, man. She's been so good.
It was Pokey. I think Coach Quinn, she's like, this is her second year pretty much, right? I think she has the tools. I think she's learning it to use them from Pokey, and it's invaluable.
Okay.
And Seattle's going to want to keep that, but I know teams are going to try to get that. She's going to have a lot of interviews this season.
And Pokey deserves a coaching job. I agree with you. Pokey deserves to be coaching somebody, anybody's team.
Well, Akil Hopping.
She already has a coaching job, bro. Like, what are we doing, man?
She doesn't have a head coaching job.
She has a head coaching job.
Yeah, she has a coaching job, though.
She doesn't have a head coaching job, Akil.
I mean, potato.
You live on a throne of lies, sir. You live on a throne of lies right now.
Potato. One is an assistant coaching position. The other is a head coaching position.
Man, I'm just not here for people trying to pawn Pokey away from my bench, man.
No,
That's
it's
all.
a pawn. It's not. A pawn.
I get it. She deserves another shot as a head coach. Like, I completely agree with everybody here, man. We talk about Jewel Lloyd yet or not? Because she's a killer.
Go ahead.
Talk about it. She's been so bad this whole year, man. I was just like, all right, she's got to give me something in the playoffs. Like, she's been so mad this regular season, but looks like she saved all the juice for last night. Man, her little step back to basically call game, tough. We had A'ja Wilson in the body bag too as well, straight jacket, whatever you want to call it. She was in shambles. Not my MVP. Don't want to say that much about her, but we'll chill. We'll chill. Not my MVP. Yeah, man, like, defensively, we did a really, really, really good job of making everything super tough for her. Which it was. Like, she struggled quite a bit. I don't think that's going to happen again. But we play Vegas really close. Like, every single game we play them. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if every single game was, like, a 3-point game going either way. and it just comes down to like a couple possessions that basically like determine the whole series. It's gonna be a dogfight, man. It's gonna be a dogfight. I'm super excited for the rest of the series.
So you come in here and stir the pot and say she's not my MVP. And now, yeah, like that was some nasty work there by using the brilliance of Jewel Lloyd to sneak that barb in here, and we're gonna let you talk about it. We're gonna give you 60 seconds to make your case after Malika goes. So think about what you want to say, and then that way we can all just jump on you because apparently that's what Twitter does. Malika, what you got?
Firstly, Asia is the MVP. Stop playing. Even though I also love Breonna Stewart and think she's one of the best in the, I'm going to say that one of the best in the game. Period. But this was Asia's year, and the MVP is a regular season award. Next, I will say that Jewel Lloyd was not great this season. I agree with you there, but in the playoffs, she's definitely stepped up. And like towards the end of the season, she was playing well. And the playoffs, it's like, okay, this is the Jewel Lloyd I know. This is the Jewel Lloyd I love watching play. This is the Jewel Lloyd I believe could lead a team. So I just wanted to throw that out there because, Jewel Lloyd is like turned the switch on towards the end of the season going into the playoffs. So, I mean, she's, like I said, I think Seattle Storm is playing well at the right time. I'm not going to discount them, but I see the Aces in the finals. But we'll see.
If you order pepperoni pizza in Italy, Malika, what do you think you get?
I'm not doing this, Chris. I'm curious about Akil's argument, and I do like, and I love.
You get spicy peppers, right? That's what it is. Spicy peppers.
Yeah, you'll get peppers. You don't get pepperoni. Pepperoni is
I know.
So pepperoni pizza, also not Italian. Akil,
you got to realize, Chris, Akil is from the wealthy suburbs of Michigan. He's experienced all the finer dining of that can be possible.
So he goes to Carrabba's instead of Olive Garden. I got it.
Listen, he turns his nose down at Soho House. What does that tell you?
Brother, I'm not stepping foot in the Carrabba's respectfully to Carrabba. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
All right, 60 seconds. Why is Asia not the MVP, Akil? Because you caused, like, I have 3 people saying he's crazy.
I love to hear this. Let's go.
Look, man. This is a thing. Asia probably is the MVP. Do I have to politic for Breonna Stewart? Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do. It's politic. My MVP dropped 25. Asia was in a straitjacket. That's all. That's all there is to this, folks. That's the whole case. But more than anything, I will say this. If I really wanted to do this, I'd say if you went straight down the line and you looked at both of these two players' teams individually, one team had a way more loaded roster than the other team. Jewel kind of wasn't there for most of the regular season. She was pretty mid. I talked about it before. Sue Bird, pretty old too. Let's talk about that one as well. Like, it's been a lot of a carry job from Breonna Stewart. It really has. People say she can't play defense, and she was defending at like an extremely, extremely high level as well this year. So yeah, I think what she's did with this roster is like more impressive than what Asia did. But if you want to tell me what Asia's MVP, like, I'm not mad at that. She's been fantastic. Kelsey Plum, also the leading scorer on the Aces, by the way. Just saying. But yeah, if it's Asia, that's fine. My vote's Stewie. That's all.
There you go.
You know why y'all won that game yesterday and nobody's even talking about it? Y'all won that game because Tina Charles was up there being a beast on them damn boards. So at the end of the day, if Stewie was all this immaculate player scoring, that's all y'all talk about is her scoring. But she ain't down there rebounding like Asia is. She ain't down there blocking people's shot like Asia is. Asia's game has steadily improved each year she's been in. No disrespect to Stewie. I know people love her. But her play is like plain old white bread. It's been consistent. She's on a flat line. is plateaued.
I mean,
She,
Stewie and
she,
Asia both had 3 blocks last night.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's
continue.
true.
Brianna Stewart doesn't
But
block shots, though. You got it. Cook.
right. And at the end of the day, Asia's game. I didn't know Asia had all this stuff in her bag. I didn't realize that. And Becky brought that out of her, and that's why she's the MVP. But y'all need to kiss Tina Charles's butt a little bit more. But you can sit there talking about, well, Asia had this and that. You got not one, not two, not three, but 4 UConn players and 1 Notre Dame player. And half of your team is number 1 picks. So don't come here and try to sit there and make excuses for your team at the end of the day. We ain't playing that.
So are the Vegas Aces.
4
number 1 picks.
And they do. But a lot of Jackie Young wasn't even supposed to be number 1. Jackie Young wasn't even supposed to be number 1. It's because Bill Laimbeer saw the vision before everybody else did. That's why she's the number 1 pick.
He was still number 1 either way you
want. Either way. But don't sit there and try to play that swan song for Stewie. Like, oh my God, she did. We ain't playing that. Don't be trying to move the goalposts. For her, okay. Now that's what y'all say. Y'all UConn and Seattle fans do. Move the goalposts for that sister who's a better player. But hey, do what you want to do at the end of the day with that.
There's no goalpost moving.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of it.
No,
moving.
they're really. But Cook, you got.
We have somebody new. We're gonna listen to Coco. Shout out to Coco, who's just joined the stage. We're gonna listen to her because unlike anybody on the stage, like, she is objective. She has not had any interaction with this conversation. Coco, who's right here, Akil or Danny?
Come on, Chris.
Horn.
Not a good debut. Not a good debut. We'll go to the Queen of Dirty Macking, and then we'll bring back Malika. Go ahead, Blazer.
I wanted to say something about Tina Charles. I know a lot of people, I guess she's ring chasing or whatever, but I don't think a lot of people respect her talent enough, in my opinion. Tina Charles, she's been stuck with teams that were underachieving, so we kind of didn't know how well she plays in situations like this. And the disrespect is like getting weird and out of control with Tina Charles. I just wanted to add that. And also, back to Connecticut, I'm sorry. But when they were talking about leaving Kurt as GM, I think we should give Chris the job. Our assistant coach, I can't pronounce his last name, it's Cunanes or something like that. But I think he should probably get that starting job and have Kurt as the GM. Kurt already relies heavily on him and Brandy. The only reason why I wouldn't give it to Brandy, because I think Brandy needs a new start with a new roster. But I think she's capable as well. I wouldn't want her with Connecticut because it'll be way too much pressure on a female coach. In my opinion, I don't like to do that for first-time head coaches. Like, Becky was different because, in my opinion, she was poised to take that San Antonio job, and she already had experience at that level when she was coaching, even though it was the summer league. So I think she could handle the pressure more than Brandy could. I think giving that roster to Brandy is like shooting yourself in the foot because we have so much expectations.
To anybody wonder what Reba's talking about, like, female head coaches usually in their first year, second years, like, if they don't do exceptionally well, for some reason they're trash coaches and they really don't get looked at as for head coaching gigs afterwards. But yeah, let it be a male figure, and you got people like Derek Fisher running around and Michael Williams, and Michael Cooper running around in Atlanta. Like, what was he doing there? Like, why?
That's exactly what I meant. Thanks, 808.
So, if you've been a listener, we've partnered up with audiolabs.io, and that's a group of people who created a platform to take the Spaces content and it gets directed into YouTube content. Have big news coming up with that because we're taking it a step further, and we'll be launching our podcast with audiolabs.io as well. So stay tuned for that. So more news coming probably Thursday or Friday. And I'm going to take this time to shout out everybody who's actually stayed and listened to this W conversation we're having this morning, even though you might not have a favorite team or you might not watch. The way that I do things is one day at a time, one person at a time. I can't change your mind. Only you can change your mind. But the only way you're going to be able to change your mind and buy in is to hear people who are as passionate about the WNBA as you are about, let's say, the New Orleans Pelicans, right? Because that's how interest is created and galvanized. You hear the passion behind the analysis. You hear the passion behind the opinion, and you might want to just tune in to see what they're seeing. And before you know it, you are going to be a fan. And I'm going to tell you why. It's just simply better basketball, period. Like, I don't think I'm wrong in that. We'll go to Pretty Can and then Malika, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to transition into some news and notes. And on the back end, and we'll talk a little bit about the Artemis 1 rocket because I am a nerd. And if you're here, you're probably considered partly nerdy as well, just in a sense for basketball. Pretty Can and Malika, good morning, everybody.
Malika can go first. She had her hand up before I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, Akil, I understand the Breonna Stewart agenda, but I just want to say it again. The MVP award is a regular season award. And, like, it's more to winning the MVP than just scoring. Asia is the leader in rebounds, the leader in blocks. She is also the leader in double doubles. She, she is that woman. So she was also top 5 in points. So if we're going to talk about MVP, it's more than just being number 1 in scoring and number 1 in points per game. I do see her PER as well with Breonna Stewart, but but this was Age's season, and I
So are
get
we just
the
acting
Breonna
like
Stewart
doing just
fandom. I get
play
it, but
defense? Are we acting like she's just like a turnstile, or what's going on here?
we're not acting like she's a turnstile, but Asia was played her ass off on both sides of the court all season. Just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're going to win the MVP every season. That's not how it works. This was Asia's time. This is Asia's season. Like, she did her, like, you're going to, we're not saying she was bad, but Asia, number 1 in rebounds, number 1 in blocks, number 1 in double doubles, and she was also, she was doing her thing. We're not gonna, that's all I'm saying.
All right, hop in here, Pretty.
I agree with everything Malika said, and I just want to say this: I hate that when Asia has a bad game or something, it's like, oh, the MVP can't come through for her team. But if Stewie has a bad game, or she does a lot, and Jules say drop 0 points or 1 point, and Sue has a negative whatever on court, and nobody does anything, then Stewie needs help. What is the difference between that here? Why is it that Asia can have a bad game and Stewie can't have a bad game? It's because her teammates didn't step up for her. I feel like we need to get the root of all of that, because Asia is the MVP. Like Malika said, this is a regular season award. It goes for the regular season. There has nobody that has been better than Asia this season. Not saying that Stewie is not a great player, because she is. Stewie is an amazing player. She just was not this year. It was Asia's year. And I feel like everybody needs to not have so much bias about it and just say Asia had a good year. She deserves the MVP. And they need to stop, like Malika said, going off scoring. It's more than scoring to being an MVP. Everybody needs to understand. It's just, you don't need to be the best scorer to be the MVP. You need to be the most valuable player for your team. And Asia is that player. I don't care that Kelsey scores more points than Asia. Kelsey can score 50 points and they'll still lose. But if Asia doesn't have a good game, then the Aces is not really going to win the game, because they need her, because she is their most valuable player. And I feel like everybody just needs to stop with this whole controversy about it and just let it go. And the people are going to get it right when they give her the MVP this year. That's my thoughts
first
on
of all, Asia's absolutely the MVP. Like nobody's saying she isn't here. But I mean, if we're really gonna do this, like, oh, you have to be the most valuable person to your team thing. Like, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a stack. If both of Stewie and Asia just aren't on their teams, what team probably makes a playoff and what team doesn't? It's probably Vegas. Like, let's just be honest about it.
it. If
Like, it is
Asia
what it
wasn't
is.
on their team, who would be the person that's replacing Asia on the Vegas if Asia wasn't on Vegas?
I mean, they already have players already. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, but
Kelsey
all right,
Plum can't go on being the. I mean, she's a good player.
You got
Go
it.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you take Asia off of Vegas and just have Kelsey, Chelsea, Jackie Young, Kia Stokes, and let's say who was the other player that plays on, just put Teresa Plaisance as the starter. That's the starting lineup. You think that team
Didn't
is
bring
gonna
up
be?
Dearica Hamby. That's hilarious. But Cook.
Oh, Dearica Hamby is out right now. I'm just saying this team right now. You think that team is the number one team and a playoff team that could win?
No, I don't think they're the number one team in the playoffs. I just think if you took them off and then if you took Stewie off, Vegas is infinitely better.
No, they're not. Even if you have Hamby, I have to interject.
Wait, hold on.
Hamby is
They
okay,
absolutely
but,
are, bro. They absolutely are, man.
But Hamby ain't the all. I don't know why y'all keep on trying to put Hamby in the BR group. She's a good player. That's all she is. But she don't make any difference other than what Asia can do. They're a much better team with Asia. Without Asia, they're probably in the bottom half of top 8. And that's just the reality.
Akil, what we're not going to do is sit up here and act like Stewie is a two-way player. She's not. She plays formidable defense, and she has a talented offensive arsenal. Asia Wilson is the best. Wait, hold on. Asia Wilson is the best two-way post in the league. She plays both sides of the ball as efficiently as possible because she has to. Because Vegas relies on her to do that every game in and out. Even with two other legit MVP conversations type people that were in the conversation earlier in the season. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, why do we always do this? Just appreciate the ball and ball. I get it, though. You a Seattle fan. You got to push the narrative. I get it. But come on.
Oh, I know. Most of this is just me strictly politicking here.
I know. If y'all don't know what Akil, this is Akil, by the way.
Yeah, all I do is politic, man. It's the name of the game, bro. It really is. No, Asia's really fucking good. Like, oh, she's so good, man. Like, she upped her uses this year incredibly high. Like, way more efficient this year than last year. She's just getting asked to do more offensively and getting asked to straight up carry defensively. Like, for her to do both things and do them very, very well is extremely impressive. But I'm just politicking. That's the name of the game, folks. It's politicking.
Yeah.
This woman is shooting almost 40% from 3. That means she's never done that. I'm just saying.
I get.
I'm a South Carolinian. My mama's from South Carolina. I was raised down there. I get it. I know where Asia comes from. It's just that I'm pushing that. I'm pushing my own agenda. And agenda is
I'm
South
all
Carolina.
for pushing agendas here, folks. This is what it is. We push agendas. We push them hard.
The one.
What's up, Chris?
The one agenda that I do need to put out here is arguably the most egregious lie that we have been living. Marinara sauce is not Italian. Okay? I just want everybody to understand that fact.
And Chris
I
is
just
a
lowered my
GM.
head and shook it. Like
808.
Right,
Malika.
Well,
808, you owe us. 808, you owe us.
Wait, it's the break. We're halfway through the 11 o'clock hour, ladies and gentlemen, and I needed a clean break to say to all the new people who've popped in, you're listening to a great conversation, politicking on whether or not Asia Wilson is the MVP. Here's the answer. She is, and here's why. She's better. There you go. Like, love what you did there, Keel. You've got some supporters down below. Shout out to those who know the Storm Lead is in the building. But yeah, it's Asia Wilson, and it's not close.
And Chris is a secret GM for the Sacramento Kings. Everyone, you will need. No, we're gonna sell this propaganda today, baby. Let's go.
Not true. That is not true. I have never worked for the Kings, but if they want to hire me, they can reach out. I'm here.
Keep on having these crazy food takes and your science breaks. We're going to keep on pushing our own propaganda down here, okay?
Yeah, well, like, again, marinara sauce is not Italian. That's all I was saying to get this 30-minute break in here. We're going to keep the W talk going on, and then we'll transition over to some news and notes. The question in the poll: who's your MVP, Asia or Stewie? Go ahead and vote, share. We've got Bill up here. Bill Carroll's been quiet for a while. I want to make sure we bring him back in, and we also have another question that I have because I need to know who you're going to pick for the championship, because I want to know who you really rocking with, essentially. Because I know 808s is going to say Chicago. I know Pretty Can's going to say Chicago. But like all the other teams, I'm not going to lie, what I saw across the timeline is kind of like hedge and waver, that middle ground, kind of like a waffle, not as bad as a pancake, but not as good as French toast. Bill, hop in here. What you got? And then we're going to go to 808s so he can start the apology tour, because apparently people are upset at him for, being human and talking about food. Like, I don't understand why y'all mad at this man. He's just doing his normal stuff. Bill, you with us? Man, 2 horns in one show, man. That's tough work. That is tough work. All right, 808s. What do you want? Closing up the W talk. Get your final take in here, and I guess they're wanting an apology for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
So listen, Mark is a really dope guy, and he does exceptional work over at the W, and like I'm literally just hassling him because he has some of the worst. Not gonna lie to you, Chris, his food takes are worse than yours. Like, I didn't think I would meet somebody that has worse food takes, but they are.
He's eccentric. Okay. He's all over the place.
That is nasty. I love the word eccentric, but the fact that you just use it like that was Jesus. I was just trying to hassle him because he doesn't like Italian food. He thinks pasta is overrated, and pasta is literally like a mainstay, a main dish, or it could be a side dish. Like, you can make an amazing Cajun pasta, and that could either be the side or the main, and you'll be perfectly fine. Get you some bread or get you a nice chicken breast on the side. But as far as off the food, I don't know. I mean, of course, I'm going to say the Chicago Sky. I mean, I don't see any other team out there that can really bang with them. I don't think the Aces can do it unless De'Arica Hamby is back. And that's literally the only way how they win. They even have a chance against Chicago in the finals if De'Arica Hamby is healthy. If not, we're going to see the fact that Vegas' bench has been a trouble point for them the entire season. But in moments like that, they're going to need her. Everyone's saying, oh, down year this, down year that. And still, she's one of the most important players on that roster. Yes, it will be Chicago in the finals, Vegas in the finals as well.
All right. 808's laying it down. And you notice what he didn't do? He didn't apologize because he did nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go to Q, then we'll go to Akil. We'll each give you 60 to 90 seconds. Get your last W take out here. Go ahead, fellas. Q first and Akil.
All right. Well, right now, I think I'm gonna pick the Aces to win it all because based off what I've seen, I think they have the most talented, I guess like 3 to 4 player tandem. I feel like Chelsea Gray is an amazing floor orchestrator. Kelsey Plum is one of the most athletic guards in the game, probably the most athletic guard in the game, which can help like against Chicago, like they like to go downhill. I feel like, they got talent, like guys that could, match them in that. Jackie Young, at times, some of her decision making kind of baffles me a little bit, but as long as she could keep that under control, I think the Aces actually got what it takes to win it this year.
All right. We got an Aces pick. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Danny's really happy about that. Up next, you're going to hear Akil. Akil, who wins the championship, and what's your final W take for the day?
I just heard my name. What's up, man? All I'm saying is I'll end on this before I dip, man. If Seattle beats Vegas, I'm getting nasty on this app. Y'all do not want to see me or hear from me. You do not. I promise you, bro. You don't want it. You really don't. You think I'm unbearable now, buddy?
That is so crazy. He is laying it out there. Like, he's telling y'all if the Storm win, don't even show up.
Watch us sweep y'all the last 3
Man,
games, and let's see.
give,
Let's
give me
talk
the
then.
ether beat. Give me the ether beat. I'm muting the whole room. Let me co-host for 5 minutes. Look, we are going in. It's happening. It is absolutely happening. That's all.
So you want to give Chicago the easiest path to a repeat since the first team since the 2000 era?
Hey, I'll take
That's
it.
crazy.
Hey, if I give Chicago the easiest path to a repeat, I'll take it.
At least he's in the
Take it. I just got to pack up Vegas. That's it. That's my season championship is packing up Vegas.
Hey, you know that's actually pretty first world problem. Not gonna lie, like that's pretty first world, bro. Like packing up Vegas, fucking championship. I'm packing up Vegas. That's what you literally just said.
Yeah, gated neighborhood problems. Come on, man.
That's Class A hating right there.
That's hate.
Nasty.
Hate is real. Hate is real.
Y'all seen the Andre 3000 Outcast video? The nastiest hater, Buck nastiest hater. That's me. It's been me. Always will be me. It is what it is, man. Come on.
I actually have a PhD in hate. You're okay, but you ain't real. You got some growing to do.
Fair. I'll try to get up to your level, man. I really will. I mean, you hate everything that's good though, too. So I guess it's 2 different levels, boss.
Yeah. Our levels, and layers like onions. We're gonna go to the queen of 30 Mac. And what's your final W take? And who do you think wins the championship?
I think Vegas wins it. I really think Asia just pulls it off this year. And I need Courtney Williams to step up offensively. That's it.
All right. Straight to the point. We can do that. Pretty Cam, Chicago. I already know. Why?
You already know. You already know it's gonna be Chicago. But I have to say this: if Seattle, it's Vegas to lose. I'm not going against my Chicago, but Vegas is this is their year, and if they do not show up, and Reba said this in other spaces, then they need to get flamed like Connecticut has been flamed for years. So if Vegas doesn't get past Seattle, then they need to bring all the smoke for Vegas because this is Vegas' year.
Hey, hey, Cam, talk about it. Talk about it.
But I'm going to go with my Chicago. I'm not going to go against Candace Parker for number 1. So I'm going to go with my Chicago Sky. Vegas may got us in the season, but baby, we are 0-0 when that final start, and we going to take it. So that's my pick is Chicago.
I'm not going to lie. I've been looking for new funeral music for the show. And I'm telling you, if the Aces lose to the Storm, like, it's gonna be something nice.
You got to bring all the.
It's getting nasty, Chris. It is getting nasty. Kristen knows how
my
I am,
haters
man.
are praying for my downfall. Look at that, just praying and waiting for my downfall.
I want Vegas to win. I'm just saying, if they don't win, this is the 3rd year in a row that they did not make it to the finals. And I feel like Connecticut gets a lot of hate because Reba said it in other spaces. They get a lot of hate, and it should be the same that goes for Vegas.
Also, when Chicago wins it, which is going to happen, by the way, when they do win it, if they close it out on the home court, if they don't get Chief Keef to perform for Nito, they're done as a franchise for me.
Pop culture music quib that I know nothing about.
I've never heard this many people call me my government name in the same morning. This is nuts.
What was the artist to kill?
Chief Keef, Finito. Crazy record, man. Crazy.
Who that is?
That's
wait, what?
Yeah, 0 idea.
Okay, I forgot this. Never mind. It's not your fault.
You don't know about the. Hey, people don't want to talk about it. Chief Keef is packing up a lot of rappers in the verses, man.
Look, man. I have a very peculiar relationship with music. Literally, don't know 90% of the artist names. The song comes on, it comes on.
You're not missing anything, Chris. You're all right.
I promise you he is. He just has to hear Don't Like once, and he's running through a brick wall. I promise you he's missing a lot. He really is.
All right. Well, DM me the song I should listen to then.
Gotcha.
Danny, come up here. Tell us why your Aces aren't going to be the laughing stock of social media and win the championship.
Because it wasn't written that way. We are destined to be where we're at. We're destined to be the champs. This is our year. Asia MVP. It just is. Like I said, don't be surprised if it's a gentleman's suite, and after we may not go to 5. Don't be surprised. They can have that game. They can have that game. That was a gift. That was a gift from the basketball gods. Sue Bird can enjoy her playoff game and ride into the sunset of retirement, and take her sister DT with her too.
Hey man, that just means we're getting Courtney Vandersloot next year when she comes home for her last year.
Hey,
Hey,
chill,
mute that
chill.
man and
I
kick him
about to say
out, please.
chill.
You know what?
You
I hope
know,
that happens, and maybe she'll take her wife with her. You never know,
Hey,
because Candace is going to retire at the end of the season
talk
anyway,
about it, man.
and then
Wow,
y'all be left with
violent.
Kalia Copper, and let her lead the team, and
Enough
maybe
of
Dana
this
Evans
violence.
might get some playing
PP
time
forever.
because Dana Evans might get playing time as long as the 32-year-old Rebecca Gardner plays the way she is. Dana might be riding that bitch kind of hard. Might need to get her some Vaseline for that butt. I don't
Hey,
know.
yo,
Not violence. That's a
what?
lot of that.
To be fair though, to Candace and retiring all of the other stuff, I mean, she had a joke earlier a couple weeks ago, I think, talking about somebody else that was the oldest player in the league, and that technically is true, but that doesn't count till next season. So that sounds like she's back next season.
all right. Look at the one thing that Keel's really good at, and like I'm pretty good at stopping. He knows exactly what to say to elicit a reaction.
I work in marketing. Like I work
Like,
in PR. Like I when I say I literally do this for a living, like I do this for a living.
Maybe the WNBA need to hire you
there you go.
to promote
Buddy,
their
if they
stuff.
hired me, ratings are through the roof. Let me tell you.
It
The
would be
stuff's
just
better.
all Seattle. I don't want that.
Like the honest truth is, if they hired you, you would have to be so anti-Seattle that would eat your soul up.
This is a thing, man. I could actually like come correct and not push Seattle agendas. Like I really can do that. It's just that I choose not to.
There you go.
That's what it is.
That's actually the definition of addiction. We're gonna go to Malika Walker. Your thoughts on who wins the WNBA finals, and your last W take of the day.
I want Las Vegas to win, but something tell me Chicago repeats. I mean, and if Chicago repeats, I saw a quote from Candace where she said she's hoping DT doesn't retire because if if DT doesn't retire, then she'll be the oldest player in the league next year, something like that. You know what I mean? Like so, that's something. I don't think Candace is retiring. I think it's a chance DT does, but I do think that yeah, for some reason I'm seeing Chicago winning again, but I would love for Asia to get her ring. I would love for the Aces to, Becky Hammond and that storyline. They'll be running it to the ground. Every player would be a player narrative around the Aces winning this championship. But something tells me Chicago's like, Kalia and Candace and are not going to let that happen. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, we've got 2 more people we're going to hear from. Which one of you want to go first, Blazer or 808s?
He can go. I'll go. Mine is real quick. We were talking about Becky Hammond for Coach of the Year, and someone, I think it was Danny, that said that everyone bought in, and I still don't think Kelsey Plum has bought in, and that's why they lost that game yesterday. Everyone has bought in except for Kelsey Plum, and unfortunately, she's the one with the ball in her hands the most. And I think that could come back and bite Vegas in the ass if she doesn't fix that in this series. Because if she makes it to the finals and she's still playing like that, Chicago or whoever, it's probably going to be Chicago, but they're going to run in there. She can't do that against Chicago for 5 straight games.
Ricky Lubale.
Are we talking about glorified shot checker, Erika Gubawale?
I'm not going to say that, but she's teetering on the Enrique line with that.
There's
I think
nobody
she
I
plays
hate
a lot
more.
of hero ball because I think she's one of the players that does look at stats. So, especially offensive stats. So,
When I
And I
figured
think a lot of other people do too, because that's the only reason she would ever be in an MVP talk at all, in my opinion,
when
is
I
because she does take those shots.
when I figured out I could bet on Enrique missed jumpers in a game, boy, I was cooking.
Oh man, that's
I
just
was cooking.
that's,
She gives you turnovers too. She made me some money with turnovers too. Her and Marina were
it,
locked for those turnovers. So
they are literally telling on themselves as they describe their fandom of betting on the downfall. I love it. How
I'm
much?
not betting on their downfall. It's just something that I see. Like someone brought up yesterday that it's Asia team, but Kelsey doesn't think so, and I absolutely believe that because Kelsey might say it publicly, but when like in game situations, Kelsey's going to try to do that herself, and that's what takes Vegas out of the games they should be winning.
That's what I saw last night.
I mean, I have some pushback in that. I think, like, if as far as from like a pure shot creation standpoint, like I think KP might be like one of their better shot creators on their basketball team.
Chelsea Gray.
Chelsea Gray, like she's solid as far as like a table setter and all that, but like KP can go get buckets, man. Like she can go get buckets.
But that's only one side of the game. Like I need you to do other stuff too. And that's why everybody keeps saying Asia's the MVP, because she does do everything on the side of the court. Like you can create a bucket, but when we need to win a game, a very important game, a semifinals game, I need you to go with the best play, and it might not be you. And I need you to be okay with that, and I need you to do what's right. And I don't think Plum does that.
Yeah, I could see that. 808s, we're going to close out the W. We had a great almost 2 hours completely done, and it's been phenomenal. I want to thank everybody who's come up on stage to talk and share their insight and their passion. If you want to promote something, now's definitely the time to go ahead and tell people where they can read your words if you write, or listen to your voice if you have a podcast. Malika, your hand is up. What do you have? Because I thought you were done. Go ahead, and we'll get 808s in.
I just wanted to note that Edwin, myself, and Ryan will be interviewing Jeff Pearlman on Friday to talk Kobe, Shaq, and those years through his book 3 Ring Circus. That is Wednesday night, and really talk about the Kobe that was playing with the Lakers at that time at such a young age, and reflect on the man he's become, but also the Lakers of those years as shared through the book. So I just threw the invite in a Jumbotron, so definitely check it out. If you're a Laker fan, or you want to learn from the author who wrote the book about that era.
All right. Everybody has to understand by now that Spaces is a unique, transformative platform, and you've never had access to someone like Jeff Pearlman until now. And he's already been here once, and if you missed it, you missed a hell of a show. So make sure you come in Friday, because this one is going to dive in, like she said, to a man who some have now argued that should become the logo of the modern NBA, and Kobe Bryant. You'll also hear him talk about the relationship between the most dominant player in the modern era and Shaquille O'Neal. So it's a dynamic book, and it's going to be a dynamic conversation. 808s, you can tell them where they can read your words and hear you. Come on in and tell the good people how you've been winning at the W game, because what you've done in a short period of time is phenomenal. I'm proud of everything you've been able to do. What you got?
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. People know I got my start here at Who Spaces, so that's really where I started, at least for the visual and the voice part. But for most people know by now, but there was a mutual agreement to a contract divorce with 9450. So I've actually got something in the works right now as far as audio and podcasts and spaces and stuff. But as far as words, I've actually got a piece dropping later today for Fansided. It's with a Sun focus. I've got another piece dropping a little bit later today, also with a Sky focus for Outlet Pass.
All right. Make sure you tap in and read the words. That's where he's trying to go. We're going to help, just like we try to help everybody achieve their dreams and goals, because honestly, it's a lot better. It's a lot more fulfilling in life to help others achieve, because that's really the best achievement you can have, is being part of a team and team building. And you got to understand, like, teams in the real world, they're dynamic. They come and go. They change. They come back. It really is what you make of it, and it's just like any opportunity in life. And what 808s has done is phenomenal. Being able to cover the Chicago Sky as a credentialed member of the media, it's dope, man. Happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we are here at 11:51. We're getting ready to transition into some NBA talk, but I'm going to leave the Italian food here. We won't be bringing up Italian food after this. The biggest issue I have is fettuccine Alfredo and garlic bread. Okay,
Fettuccine Alfredo is not real Italian food.
neither are real Italian. Okay, so first off, the idea of fettuccine Alfredo is not from some man who had a wife who was sick and couldn't eat anything, so he melted butter and cheese. If your wife is sick, you ain't melting butter and cheese. All he did was make some plain noodles. That's it. Using the pasta water, he put in a little bit of
Can we
cheese.
move on
And it's
to the
called
space stuff? Let's get off the food.
it's called pasta in bianco. Okay, that is the original fettuccine Alfredo. That is Italian, not that stuff you get at Olive Garden. All right, see, like, you couldn't have just waited 10 seconds. 10 seconds, Danny. Man. All right, welcome everybody to Hoop Spaces, making any part of your Monday part of our day. We're very grateful and appreciative of it. We had a great discussion on the WNBA, but we're going to go through some news and notes to get you caught up with some stuff that's happening in the NBA. And we're going to go to two legal things first. We will go to Minnesota as Taurean Prince was arrested with an out-of-state warrant for drug and weapon charges in Texas. He was actually arrested at Miami International and booked there. His attorney had released a statement, quote, apparently in the last week and a half, they issued a warrant for his arrest because they recovered 1/100th of an ounce of THC, which is probably the smallest amount you can have. This is alluding to a THC vape pen and a canister of weed that was next to him. Also in the news, former NBA player Terrence Williams pleads guilty in a fraud case. If you remember him, he played for several teams, most notably Brooklyn or New Jersey at the time, conspiring to commit healthcare fraud and identity theft in connection with the multi-million-dollar scam against Basketball League's health plan, which is the health retirement plan that they have. So this is going to allow him to, shave some years off. I think that he's facing a maximum of 20 years and a fine of at least like $1 million. It's sad news. So there you go. There's some sad news. Because bad actions are bad actions. To some good news, there was a phenomenal overtime game over in the FIBA World Cup qualifying event, and Serbia tops Greece with Nikola Jokic, just wowing at the end of the fourth quarter and dominating in overtime to beat Giannis. Man, if you haven't caught any of the FIBA World Cup or Eurobasket, take some time out and get caught up. Like, you can watch the replays on YouTube. Also in the news, the Brooklyn Nets have signed Yuta Watanabe to make the camp deal. The Nets and 76ers are interested in signing Markieff Morris. The Nets are actually in discussions. The Heat never really aggressively pursued Kevin Durant after Brooklyn said you would have to include Bam Adebayo. The Charlotte Hornets are making news. They're apparently considering bringing back Kemba Walker or Isaiah Thomas for point guard depth, and they also are now linked to Elfrid Payton. The Celtics lost Danilo Gallinari to a meniscus tear. We'll see the recovery time and if there's surgery that's needed to be done. There was another player, Gary Harris of Orlando, also tears his meniscus. And finally, the Lakers are in the news, ladies and gentlemen. They could be involved as a third team in a 4-team deal that sends Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks to get Russell Westbrook off of their team. Even though Coach Darvin Ham has now come out publicly 3 separate times stating that I want to carve out a real role for Russell Westbrook, the Lakers are trying to get in to the let's play musical chairs with this contract game with Russell Westbrook. And to that effect, we have a Lakers fan up here who's just probably excited that the Lakers are now the punching bag of jokes with Russell Westbrook's contract. That's Hoops Faces Ryan, getting ready for a little bit of trivia. Ryan, you with us?
I am. What's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I am doing well. That Twitter vacation was much needed. I liked it.
You needed it. You've taken some vacations that didn't amount to vacations this summer, so I'm glad you got a vacation that made you happy.
Yeah, it was just a Twitter vacay, though. I'm kind of mad. We actually talked about this yesterday. He's going on another trip, and I'm like, yo, you've now gone on 3 trips. Like, the only trip I get to go to is the one to my fridge where I get my water and I wait for you to come home. Had to put a little guilt trip on him.
All right. Well, I think we're going to play some trivia. What do you think?
I think so, too. I like trivia, and people like trivia. They like getting the answers right, but I like hearing them get it wrong. I don't know why that is. I just do.
All right. I think to play some trivia, we might need to clear some people off the stage so we can ask a question and invite them back up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Although, if 3 of these lovely ladies are up on stage and want to partake, I don't see why we should move anybody down.
Up to you.
Malik is like, I'm out. All right. Do y'all 3 that are remaining on stage want to play trivia?
Oh, you can let somebody else play.
Right.
Yeah, you can bring somebody up, but I still want to cook though, because I got a lot to cook on. Don't be kicking Malika off. She cool, okay?
She left on her own accord. And I will bring you back up so you can cook when it's time to cook. Blazes, do you wanna play trivia, or do you want other people to come up? All right, might not be on the phone. We got TJ. All right, we need 2 more.
I got a question I can use.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, see, I don't know if we have. Sean is volunteering. Yeah, because I there we go. All right.
All right, if we got it, then we got it.
I think we have 3. Somebody is still connecting. It's Bria. All right. Dang. She's having issues connecting now. She's not coming up on stage. You might have to hop out and come back in. Yeah, while we wait. TJ, Sean, say hi to the good people.
What's happening, Chris? What's happening, everybody? In traffic, so yeah, I got time today.
All right. I'm sending a message. Might need to exit and come back in.
All right.
She's not.
Hi, everyone.
What's up?
I was on vacation. I was in Barbados for 5 days. And I did very little Twittering, and that felt great. Chris, you should go on a vacation. Like, your kid keeps going on trips and you don't. Well, I mean, you're his father, so yeah, go somewhere, man. Like Columbus Day weekend, book a trip, go somewhere. Bring the kid, don't bring the kid.
Swim meet. We have a swim meet that weekend.
Oh, I'm trying to help you, bro.
Like, I've already mapped out, like the next weekend that I don't have either robotics or swimming, not counting the remaining the next 2 weekends, because we got Labor Day weekend and then we have the weekend after that, is Thanksgiving break.
You can go somewhere for Thanksgiving.
Bro,
you know what you could do? I told my wife this years ago.
like this is back when we were like dating. Like I would like New Year's Eve. I would love to be on a beach with a bottle of champagne in my hand as the clock strikes midnight. You should go somewhere the week between Christmas and New Year's. Yes, it's gonna be hella money, but just like go to like a Disney cruise or something like that, or like well, I don't know if you want to go on a cruise. I don't know
No.
in the pandemic, but like you go on a cruise and they have like these nurseries so you can drop the kid off and then you can go have a drink. I'm telling you, bro.
I actually would not do well on a cruise. If I
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I just remembered. Yeah.
It's all good. All right. Apparently, we're not getting a third person. So I guess TJ and Sean and I will be competitors, and Ryan here will ask the questions, and I will just hit the dings or the buzzers as I look to dominate my opponents now this morning.
Wow. All right. You know what? This is unprecedented that we're going to have Chris play, but I actually kind of like it. So I'm going to just start writing on this. Tell me if you've heard this one before, but during the 2021-2022 season, Steph Curry led the league with 4.5 three-pointers made per game. But who is second with 3.7 three-pointers made per game?
Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Fred VanVleet.
That is correct. Donovan Mitchell was third with 3.5, and Buddy Hield was fourth with 3.2. So that puts Chris in the lead. I am sorry, by the way, Sean and TJ, your name is your buzzer. We did not say that quickly enough. Do we want to give Chris that point since we didn't go over that?
He can have it. I wasn't getting that shit anyway.
We can start over. If you want to start over, so it's fair. It's cool.
All right, we'll give Chris half a point for that one. All right. Question number 2.
No. It's rookie Bobby rules. You're the first or last, so you either gets the point or he gets nothing. Now I have no problem giving him the point.
Then I get the point.
All right, Chris gets the point.
I'm gonna lose
by
half a point.
Next
now,
question.
Watch.
James Worthy is known for hating the Celtics. How many times did he face the Celtics in the NBA Finals?
Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
7.
Incorrect. Someone else.
Sean.
TJ.
Sean, go ahead. Sean, go ahead.
8.
Incorrect. TJ, it's up to you.
10.
All of you overshot big time. Does anyone in the audience want to raise your hand and give this one a shot? I know nobody wanted to play, but does someone want to take a chance? None of these guys were even in the ballpark. Like, this is embarrassing as a Laker fan that none of you guys were even close.
Nobody likes the Lakers here.
And are you talking about series or games?
NBA Finals. How many times did he face the Celtics in the NBA Finals? How many series? NBA Finals series. Edwin Garcia is in the audience. He must be too busy. So I will give the answer here. He lost in the 84 finals to the Celtics. He won in the 85 finals, and he won famously with that amazing 87 Lakers team. That's it.
3.
And he still correctly, absolutely hates that Celtic ass. All right. Next question.
Oh, now Edwin wants to come up. You missed your shot. Man, he could have. Oh, well.
All right. Next question. What season was the first season the Nets played as the Brooklyn Nets rather than the New Jersey Nets?
Sean,
go ahead.
That would be the 20. Oh, okay, hold on. That would be the 2012-2013 season.
That is correct. Point for Sean.
I'll never forget it because these ass clowns tried to hit me for $4,700 for season tickets after moving from Jersey, and I was paying $765 for 41 games in Jersey. And when they moved to Brooklyn, they're like, "It'll be $4,600," and I told them to go scratch. Never forget it.
All right, moving on. Next question. In the 2021-2022 season, the Heat finished with 13.6 three-pointers made on a 37.9% average to lead the league. In the prior season, how many teams made more threes on a higher percentage?
Okay. You mean the season before?
Correct.
So the 2020-2021 season.
Correct.
And can you repeat the numbers again?
TJ.
I will. I'll repeat the numbers, but TJ, you can go first, but I'm still going to repeat the numbers before
Four.
TJ goes. All right, TJ's incorrect. I'll still repeat the question. In the 2021-2022 season, the Heat finished with 13.6 threes on 37.9% to lead the league. In the prior season, how many teams made more threes on a higher percentage?
Chris.
Chris, go ahead.
8.
Incorrect.
Sean.
Sean, go ahead.
This was the not the bubble season, but this was the empty arena season. 3.
Incorrect. Do we have anyone from the audience that wants to take a stab?
Well, like Edwin's hand stayed raised from the last time, so I don't know if he's actually trying to answer this question. You trying to answer this question, Edwin? Yeah, I don't think he did. I think he forgot. I think answer.
Go ahead, Chris. What were you saying?
I think I know the answer.
Go ahead.
I think I'm off by 1. It's 9.
Incorrect. It's 6.
Okay.
Do you want to know the teams?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. They were the Blazers, the Bucks, the Jazz, the Clippers, the Nets, and the Knicks.
Wow.
Thank you, Julius Randle.
All right. Moving on. In the 2021-2022 season, this team gave up the least amount of points in the paint, but also had the least blocks in the league. Who are they?
Chris.
Go ahead.
Phoenix Suns.
Incorrect.
Sean.
Sean, go ahead.
The New York Knicks.
Incorrect.
TJ.
TJ.
I'm just gonna throw a dart. Let's say the Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks are incorrect.
Man, we are losing.
I bet you I know who it is now.
All right, we don't have anyone stealing points, so looks like I'll let you take another gander at this.
Boston Celtics.
That is also incorrect.
All right.
Anyone else want to throw a last dart?
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Nope.
Denver Nuggets.
All right, we're just going to name every team at this point, so I'll just tell you right now. It was the Miami Heat with 3.2 blocks per game and 41.2 paint points per game.
That makes sense.
Where was Phoenix on that list?
I don't have the whole list in front of me right now.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Man, you guys are really not doing well today.
No, we're not.
All right, let's test some memories here. How many games was Ron Artest suspended for the Malice in the Palace?
Sean,
go for it.
Can I get it like in a range, like within like 2 or 3, because it's a hard number.
It was. I'll
71.
tell you, it was in the 70s.
71.
Incorrect.
Chris. 72.
Incorrect.
TJ.
Go ahead.
76.
Incorrect. Chris was.
It's 74.
It was 73.
You want to talk about? I will never forget where I was the day that happened.
Talk about it.
I was at this party, and it's funny because there's this girl I really liked, and me and her started like whatever. And I'm leaving. There's no social media or anything, like cell phones are still primitive, whatever. I'm leaving the party, and I'm getting on the train to go back home. And I'm walking past a bar, and the game is on near the end. And if you remember, Indiana beat them by beating them by like 20. And I get home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I go to sleep, and I wake up the next day, and this is what happened, right? Little known fact. Actually, the night it happened, so like what on NBA Today, it was like Bill Walton and Stephen A. Smith was doing like NBA Tonight, whatever. and they were like, "Oh, this is no big deal. This happens all the time. Yada yada yada." And apparently, David Stern must have called ESPN because the next day they were like, "This is a terrible thing. This has happened over." But they were like, "It was no big deal. It was like, it's just a fight. It's no big deal." And then it wasn't. It wasn't. But yeah, like if that happened today, like if that happened in social media today, it would have broke the internet. But at the time, it was just like, oh, like no one really like if you weren't up at the time, you didn't find out about it until the next morning.
I remember watching it live, and so I was like, this game was well over, and then the fouling happened, and I was like, oh man, it was like chippy. People were like barking at each other, and then I saw Ron Artest kind of just chill. I was like, because I thought he was the one that was going to actually just turn up, and sure enough, he wasn't. But he did get that water thrown on him, and then the rest is history. But seeing it live was kind of crazy. There was no social media, so I was screaming at the TV, had nobody else to talk to. And yeah, that was a whole wild event, man.
And apparently this is all the fault of there's it's either a ringer or no, if you've seen the documentary, basically everything was chill and somebody, I forget who, he goes to Ron and is like, "Ron, go get your foul now." That doesn't happen, none of this ever happens. And that dude, whoever it was, I have to look it up, but it's like, Jamal Tinsley. Jamal Tinsley told Ron at the end, "Go get your foul," and he got his foul, and the rest is history.
He got his foul, and he got his 73 games. All right, Chris, did you have something to say?
No, I just Jamal Tinsley is a real dude. Let's put it that way. He's a
All right, we're gonna change it up here a little bit. Go from Ron Artest to this. Next question is: what team once had a mascot named Sly the Silver Fox?
Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
The New Jersey Nets.
That is correct. Do you know when they got rid of him?
They got rid of him the last season before they moved to Brooklyn, and they replaced him with the Brooklyn Knights.
There you go. Sean
things you know when you're a New Jersey Nets season ticket holder.
So that would be Sean with the 2 points, on the verge of claiming victory. All right, next question. Who is the only 3-time slam dunk competition champion?
Wow.
TJ.
Oh shit! I know what it is.
Nate Robinson.
That is correct. Nate Robinson. TJ's on the board.
Go ahead.
I would have clinched it. I'm blank.
I was like, my brain froze because all I could think of were 2-time winners.
Oh my goodness, I have Nate's jersey, the green one. Like I have it. What he got one? Good one, TJ. Good one.
The one in Vegas was given to him. By the way, I didn't like that one.
All right, gentlemen. Your next question is about players drafted in the 2000 NBA draft. I want you to all think about players drafted in the 2000 NBA draft. Name one of the top 3 players in career points scored from that draft. Go.
Can't hear you.
Oh, from that draft, name one of the top 3 players.
No. I can't hear Sean. I heard you.
Okay.
No, I'm buzzing in. Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
Kenyon Martin.
No.
Chris,
go ahead.
Jamal Crawford.
That is correct, Chris.
You took mine.
All right, so Chris and Sean on the verge. All right.
Hedo Turkoglu.
Yes.
Mike Miller.
Nope, not Mike Miller, but there's another Michael.
Michael Redd.
Michael Redd. Those are the top 3. All right, here we go. This could be a clincher. I hope it is, but it's a pretty hard one. How many years did Michael Jordan play before experiencing a playoff Game 7?
TJ.
TJ, go.
14.
Nope.
Chris.
He
never did.
Incorrect.
I know. I can't. I don't know.
Sean. 15.
Incorrect. I would love to have the audience do this, but I don't think anyone in the audience is going to take the time. So I'll just tell you, in his 6th season, he lost the Eastern Conference Finals.
Ah, okay.
I couldn't remember that.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
didn't know. I was like, I don't
I
know.
thought it was in the late part. Man, that's crazy.
all right. Let's try this. Let's see if we can clinch it here. We're gonna go Kobe question. Where does Kobe sit on the all-time playoff games played list?
Chris,
Chris.
7th.
Chris wins it.
Oh, come on.
All right. Chris, here's your bonus round for Chris.
Yeah,
Name the players above him on the list.
Oh, shoot. Kareem.
Yes.
LeBron.
Yes.
Jordan.
No. I'll give you 3 strikes.
Okay. Karl Malone.
No, that's strike 2.
This is hard. Ray Allen.
Nope. All right, I'll tell you the rest.
Hey, can I guess?
All right, go ahead.
Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Nope. The rest you're going to get much harder from here on out.
Yeah, it's
because the rest are not necessarily Hall of Fame names.
No, I figured. Robert Horry.
Robert Horry's one. You got 2 more.
2 more.
Hall of Fame.
It has to be like Lakers or Manu.
Manu's not one of them, but you're on the right team.
Tony Parker,
and you got 1 left. Think disgraced WNBA coach.
No.
Bill Laimbeer.
WNBA coach.
Derek Fisher.
There you go.
Oh, Derek Fisher. Bill Laimbeer coached the Aces.
But he's not disgraced.
Oh. I thought he quit on
Oh, man.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for playing, and congratulations, Chris.
All right. See, like I told you when we started, ladies and gentlemen, we were on our path to dominate the competition, and we did so in striking fashion, coming back, winning in the last question.
Congratulations, Chris. You beat me because of I knew the Nate Robinson thing. I got to run to a meeting, but this was fun. Look forward to doing it again soon.
Good job, Sean. Good job, TJ.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the show for today. I'll talk to Ryan for a couple minutes because he hasn't had a time to come up and talk some WNBA or NBA. Anything on your mind, Ryan, as we get ready to head out in about 5 minutes?
Well, I'm excited about the whole podcast thing. I want to talk to you personally about that, but we'll leave that for offline. And I'm excited about the Lakers season and for all the drama to end. I'll be honest about that. This has been a tumultuous off season, to say it lightly, and I don't know what to make of this upcoming Lakers season. It's been one of those times where I've just tried to ignore the news because every couple seconds it seems like the Lakers and the Nets for this whole offseason have been, just the laughing stock of the NBA for 2 different reasons. And I've hated to be a Laker fan, not being able to know what's going to come. And I know the Nets fans have been feeling the same way. And we've kind of, painted ourselves into a corner for the same reason, building teams the way we both built our teams. So I understand how it happened, but it's I don't know, it's just not a comfortable time. So I hope we can come out of it on the other side with something good and something fun to look forward to, but we'll see. I'm not exactly confident at this time yet. So I don't know.
Can I go? Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to say, Candace, she gonna be back. Don't y'all think because she lost game 1 that she dead in the ground. Nah, she like LeBron. She gonna keep going. Y'all gonna have to go get her. Y'all have to get the gats out because Candace ain't going down. Okay? Because she lost the first game and people probably thought it was over for Candace. Okay? She ain't going down. Okay? And I'm sorry for y'all Lakers. Y'all just something else. Some of y'all Lakers up in here, sorry. Okay. I don't know how the heck y'all gonna get rid of Westbrook, but y'all probably not gonna get rid of Westbrook because nobody wants Westbrook. Excuse my French, Westbrook. Okay. But yeah, that's what I want to say. And Candace gonna be back, and then she gonna go face Sue Berg and them, and they gonna shoot Candace and Sue. Somebody gonna have to hit the right. Down goes Frazier. That's what's gonna happen. Down goes Frazier. Somebody gonna go down. Okay. And yeah. So Kansas to go. Oh yeah, U.S. Open starts today. Serena's final tournament that I guess because she said she retiring. So go Serena, and also go Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff on the women's side. And my boy Rafa Nadal gonna win this. We gotta go 2-up on Novak. Okay. And I yield my time. Thank you, Chris. And stop tripping over the food. It seems like something with you with food. I don't know. I don't want to know. But okay. But thank you, bring me up. And hi everybody.
If anybody, because somebody reached out, like, how did I know about that 2000 draft? Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mark Madsen draft. That's how I know it was the 2000 that Jamal Crawford had the most points. He had over 19,000 for his career. But it was the Mark Madsen draft because, without the Lakers drafting the great Mark Madsen, we don't have that gift now or that video of him dancing at the championship parade. So shout out to Mark Madsen, head coach, I think Division II college basketball out in Utah right now. No surprise. And actually, I think he's got that team on a winning record, if I remember correctly. Also in that draft, somebody they actually know, Khalid Al-Amin, was in that draft. I met him a couple of times. He was a UConn product, if you guys remember. Very short, very stout, very strong, real strong. Anyway, I digress. Ryan, great trivia. I'm happy that you're able to come up and talk. I think we'll see some more Lakers news because I do think that they are going to give up the 2 first-round picks to get rid of Westbrook, but more importantly, get the assets they can get to try to win. And I can see them now putting in the 2 first-rounders to get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner because I think the writing's on the wall. It's the only move that makes them better.
Well, I agree. It's the only move that makes them better. However, my take on that is I'm not sure Indiana does that. I'm not sure Indiana thinks that makes them better or Indiana is going to go for that because, we're talking 2027 and 2029 firsts. So we have to convince another team to go for that. So it may be that it's the Donovan Mitchell 3-team trade. I don't know what actually winds up happening here. There's also the whole trade that the Lakers just actually, pushed through that freed up a lot of cap space next year by getting THT's player option off the books, which, let's face it, THT is not developing as everybody hoped he would. Now, who knows? Now that he's no longer a Laker, maybe he's suddenly going to be great. Not playing as a 3-and-D player, which he's not. He's a slasher and trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Maybe he's actually going to develop properly now, but on the Lakers, he wasn't playing the way he was supposed to, or via his correct play style. But they did free up money on the books so that there's a chance to sign a higher max, not really a full max slot, but like a 30 mil slot there. So perhaps that's a chance to go after like a Kyrie, or if you ask me, 2 higher paid role players, or maybe even 3 10 mil slots or something like that. So they actually did something smart there, if you ask me, at least to build a better team, a better formed team, because right now it's just not formed well to play around the players that we have. So at least they're making positive moves that make the team more cohesive as a unit. So at least there's that to look forward to. We still need to make that big move to get Westbrook off the team though right now, because we all know Beverly and Westbrook can't coexist. That's just obvious.
Yeah, I laugh because like I think Rob Pelinka somewhere like at 11:30 at night on his 3rd glass of some supremely select 18-year double malt or single malt or whatever it is he's having a nightcap, and it's like, how can I make this happen to make him want to leave? And then he said, like the Eddie Murphy character, aha! And then let me trade for Pat Bev. Like, I really do think this is Rob Pelinka's way of lighting a fire to get Westbrook to want to leave.
Well, I mean, if there's one player that's going to make Westbrook hate it here, yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen the "I hate it here" tweet at this point, because I mean, he absolutely can't enjoy it at all.
Oh man! Shout out to all the Lakers fans. Like, you'll be back. And actually, you talking about development and the trade for THT, there is a player that you signed to a minimum deal that I have actually always been very high on out of Oregon, and that's Troy Brown Jr. I think what we'll see is you'll see Austin Reeves probably start the season, but I could see him getting squeezed, even put out for Troy Brown as a starting small forward. He's a facilitator and a good defensive player. Needs to work on his outside shooting. But there you go. There's my one nugget for you, Lakers fans.
Wow, Chris said something nice about the Lakers. I also heard that there's a guy named Kendrick Nunn or something. I heard he might exist. I don't believe it still, but he might actually show up. There's rumors of an appearance. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Shout out to Scottie Pippen Jr. He's probably going to make the squad next year. Hearing good things about Scottie. Not going to lie. I'm happy.
Liked him in Summer League.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all we can extend this talk for, because I've got absolutely nothing else to talk about the Lakers unless you want to hear some sad stuff. And I don't want to end on a sad note, Ryan. What do you think?
No, we can leave it here. This was positive. No, let's end the Laker talk.
All right, cool. Tomorrow, we will probably be here talking basketball, but as there aren't any games really playing, I think there's one FIBA game, not much to go on. So we will be starting a team review, so to speak. So tomorrow, we'll pick a random team, and that's the one that we'll go ahead and kind of go into what the depth chart is looking at and what their statistical production might likely be. And if we don't do that tomorrow, it's because there's probably not that much to talk about. All right. I want to thank everybody who's come up to talk. Remember, this Friday, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have access like you've never had before. And you're going to be able to listen to a thrilling conversation with Whose Face is Ryan, Malika Walker, and Edwin Garcia as they sit down once again with Jeff Pearlman to talk about Shaq, Kobe, and Phil Jackson and that three-peat. And look, the Lakers will always be the Lakers. It's more of an institution now as opposed to a culture or a program. Like, they have been able to do things that no other team, not even the New York Knicks, are ever able to do. And that's leverage a franchise's image to obtain top-end talent. So no matter what you think they are always going to be the Lakers as long as Jeannie Buss is running the organization. And I think that's fine. And I think...
What about the Celtics? What about the Celtics, though?
Okay. What free agent?
No, I would like the Lakers more than the Celtics, but I'm just saying, like, they will always try to get people there to win. Though, right? Lakers, Celtics, biggest rivalry down there in sports.
Yeah, that really killed it right there. Not going to lie.
What other rivalry is better than the Lakers and Celtics?
That was a show killer.
Yankees, Boston.
Bankai would be proud. No major free agent really has chosen Boston except for Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, and look what happened. Prior to that, all of their major players were brought on by trade after the retirement of Larry Bird. It was a different era, but hey, that's what we're here for. All right, tomorrow, 10 a.m., maybe. We'll see. Hopefully, Donovan Mitchell gets traded today. A little birdie said it could happen. Talk to you later. Peace out. All right, and if you missed any part of the show, you can catch us over on YouTube, powered by audiolabs.io. we'll have some more info on that as we get ready to broaden our partnership with them and produce a podcast. So there you go. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Yeah. They really killed G.I. Joe with those bad remakes. All right. That's it. Peace out.